Okay. Hello, everybody. Hi. Why don't I have your Fugi here? Oh, never mind. I found you. Oh, adorable.
Wait,
There's
which
no
one is
longer
it?
the
I don't
little.
know
It's the
which one
coffee
it is.
one.
Oh, it's the coffee one? Okay, okay.
Ma'am, can't you see we're fishing here? Well, guess what? You can still fish, motherfucker. Now you just have better entertainment for it. There. Anyways, hi. Hi. Hello, everybody. My name's Lilybell. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. And I'm here with my crush, Codee. Would you like to say hi?
Hello, I'm Codee. Hello.
Yeah. He's Codee. He's Codee. Hi. Everybody say hi, Codee.
Hello.
Hi, Codee. Perfect. And today we're playing Space Lines from the Far Out. Thank you very much to Codee for giving it to me for free.
Not sponsored, by the way. I think I fucked up.
It is, or is it not?
It is not.
It's not sponsored.
It's not sponsored.
But Codee gave it to me for free. Did you buy it?
I had it from before because
Okay.
I bought it in a bundle and it came with a bunch of things, but I didn't have enough people that wanted to play it. So
well, perfect. I get to be the first
I've never
one.
played this. I've actually never
Yay.
played the actual game.
Oh yeah, that's the best part, you guys. We've never played this game, and it's great because right when I was like, oh Codee, let's like, can you host a room? They made him go through a tutorial. And that's what was happening while we were on the loading screen. Codee, would you like to share the room number?
Is it? Okay, I think it's 3136. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
He just puts it out there. I had to.
Sorry, I forgot what it's like to stream. should I make a new one?
No, I guess we're good. It's not like you guys have this game anyways. Gosh. Dear Brain, thank you so much for continuing your first class. I very much appreciate it. As well as Achi. Please, you guys, it's already hard for... Oh, because my crossplay settings? I have to turn on crossplay, apparently.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to change my character.
Wait, hold on.
I don't want
Is it still the same? Okay, I'm just gonna... If anybody joins, we will kick you out. And then we'll laugh at your face and we'll say fuck you to your face. Oh my god, that's so funny. What a funny loading screen. Yes, that'll be my final sub anniversary. We can celebrate together for a while. Not forever, I hope. Not forever, not forever. T-Lover and God of Death 78 is now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Okay. Oh, look at me! I look like a flight attendant. God damn it. I'm trying to fight the allegations. We're not beating the allegations with this, Codee.
Yeah.
Codee,
this is perfect for you, actually.
Do you know that I'm not a flight attendant?
Yeah, you're also not a plane.
Oh, God bless. See, thank you so much. See that? Replay. I'm good. I don't even want to play the tutorial once, let alone replay it. So. Codee, who are you? Where are you? Hi, Codee. Hi, Codee.
I'm here. This is me. Hello.
Hi. Oh my god, I can't believe it. That actually
Welcome
looks
to
literally
school.
like you.
This is where we learn how to fly, except you're in charge.
I'm in charge. You guys. Okay. This happened to me in my dreams multiple times. Okay, all you have to do is put your hands out like in a T pose and then flap them bitches, and apparently that's how you fly.
Damn.
I know, it's that easy. It's actually that easy. Also, wait, I forgot one more thing. Before that, you should probably take some drugs. Specific drugs. You should try hallucinogens like acid. And then you'll be able to fly so easily, I promise.
Damn, you know what? Pretty colors always makes things work.
Exactly. See, that's why Codee and I are both blue, like.
Yeah.
Pretty.
I'm gonna go in the hole. You gonna come in the hole?
I'm gonna hold back for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold back for now.
Ooh.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try it. Wait.
I don't know what we're doing.
We have to. It has actual levels, Cody.
Yeah, there's actual like we're on very easy right now. I guess it gets harder and harder.
Very easy and then easy, medium, harder.
And then harder.
I love that they say too far. It's like, wait, hold on. Put your brakes on right now, buddy.
No
okay?
skipping.
No skip. You don't know shit just yet, all right, buddy? You just, you're a little new here. Take a back seat for the pilot out here.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you so much for taking your folks on tour. Hello, tourists. My name's Aliva. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. And this is my wonderful, great friend, Cody.
Oh, been friend zoned.
I winked before that. I went, my model can't wink, but I can.
Uh-huh.
You just can't see it.
Okay.
Good night, dear.
I'm gonna
have a
have
very
to
good...
feel it.
Yeah. I have a good rest, dear. Thank you. This
We
is
got a
gonna be
passenger.
very difficult for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, it'll be fine. Wait, what's difficult? I feel like I'm not that difficult. I'm relatively easy.
You're so easy, actually.
Welcome to Lily Bell Air. Hello.
Oh, this is our passenger? What do we have to do? Oh, they're getting hungry.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that sounds like a them problem. What the fuck?
We gotta cook them stuff. Where's
okay. Kitchen, is this a kitchen? That doesn't sound. Oh yes, it is.
Oh, they're ready made.
It's they're ready. Wait, can I give it to them? Whoa. Do I not give it to? Oh, that's not it. So I have to. Oh, that's not it either. Whoops, sorry. Okay, do I have to? I had to cook it. I think. How do I cook it?
Wait.
Oh, here on the grill. Can you tell I don't cook often? I don't know if you can tell. I just don't cook often. And what? How do the toilets look over there?
Do they not like this?
In the UK, I'm gonna hold on to this for now. Did you know that I actually like airplane food?
Do you know a fun fact about airplane food? Actually, do you know what? You probably already know. But another fun fact you probably know about airplane food is that airplane food is extra salty because we cannot taste the umami and salt in the air of those altitudes.
I did know this, but I like knew it a million years ago and I've forgotten about it. So thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, because it has extra sodium. Are you sure you're going the right way? If you're lost, make sure to. Oh my God, Cody.
Oh right, we're supposed to navigate, right?
Cody. Where are we supposed to?
I don't know which way.
Oh, it has a little red. Yeah. It has a little red thing. See. We're supposed to go there.
Oh. Okay. Which way was it? This way?
That way.
Am I going the right way?
It'll show you, I think, in like a second, maybe.
Yeah. We'll arrive in 30 seconds. Unless I boost. Boost?
Ooh! That's our fuel on the bottom left, by the way, also. Just, just
okay.
to let you know.
I did not see that. That's fine. Everything is fine. Look, we'll make it. This is... How far are we?
With flight attendants like these, no surprise that Lily Bell Air is grounded for indefinite amount of time. That's fucked up there. Go to sleep. Good night. Rest well. Go to sleep. What do you want? Do you want food? Oh, I can give you food. I'm the best cook of all.
Oh, we're here. Oh, we made it. Oh, that's the first one.
Psh, easy. We're the best.
Yeah.
The passenger.
You know what it is? We only got one. We got one star.
You're kidding. Really?
Is that because we were going the wrong way the whole time?
I think it's also because we made him wait for the food. It's okay. It's our first trip, you know?
Yeah,
he's lucky he's got a flight just for $24. All right. I don't know what he's expecting.
Space is big. Yeah, true. Actually, flights in the US are so expensive. Domestic flights are so expensive. What the heck?
Yeah, but that's because our places are really big.
Yeah, but I mean, I can go to like, I don't know.
A different country?
Yeah, a whole different country for like, I could do a 2-hour flight.
Yeah.
And it will get me to like, I don't know, Italy for $120.
Oh my God, wait, hold on. Are you telling me that from your place to Italy is only like 2-hour flight?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You only make it harder for me, Codee, please. Chewy, thank you so much for taking your full slot tour. Hello, tourist. My name is Olivelle. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. Cappy Raid. I'm playing space flight game with my very, very, very good friend, Codee. Codee, say hi.
Hello, I'm Lily's very good friend.
A very, very good friend.
Yeah.
We actually don't hang out or talk very often, almost at all. But every single time we do talk, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Right?
To be fair, for a while you had me trained in some way, shape, or form to at least like message you like once a day, and then life happened, and then I was like, oh.
Oh my god, that's insane that you would say the word trained. Y'all heard that?
What?
I have the ability to train Codee, the Codee TVS. Amazing. This is, hey, never question me ever again. You hear that? You heard that shit? In 4K. Or 1080p, I don't know what I'm streaming at.
I mean,
He's still not denying it.
yeah, I'm not, because it's true. Yeah, it's true, but it was for a while. I don't know how long it was, but maybe it was like, I think it was just over a month before like
I think
things, you know.
Yeah. And you know, you get busy, I get busy. That's what's so wonderful about us. We just happen to be such
Busy
powerful
with each other?
people.
Or busy, not like two busy individuals. That's what I meant to say.
We just both happen to be powerful people separately. I couldn't imagine how we would be as a power.
Ranger?
I'm good. Couple. That's fine.
Oh.
Don't listen to me ever. Don't listen to me ever. This is embarrassing, you guys. Don't let me speak anymore. Some form of in-flight entertainment? Whoa, you guys, please. It's been a while, but I suppose I can start with the poll.
Oh, I think I'm the only one that knows. You have to push the middle mouse button to dance.
Oh, really? Well, I have food, so... Oh, yeah.
great.
No, you have to come closer to them, I think. There's a circle. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm providing them a dance. Oh, God, they're excited.
Wow, he's a dancer, you guys. He's doing... Oh,
Oh,
shit.
they're really happy.
Oh, my God, Codee. You're breaking it down. Holy fuck.
No, the other one ran away. Oh, they're all...
Are they done? Do they want more?
I don't know.
It's kind of fucked up if they did it. Why are they so
I'm gonna push
unhappy? Oh, you
I know,
push
right?
them
I'm
to
gonna push them
learn?
together. Can I
Yeah.
cheat the system? Don't run away from me.
Oh, shoot. The food goes bad if I hold on to it for too long?
Oh
Where's
my
the
God.
trash can?
Oh my God. We have it. We have nowhere to throw this.
Well, it's there now. It's just happened to
I can't
be...
believe airplane food goes bad. Oh, shoot. Wait. No.
Where's the trash? Oh my God, Codee, not again! Have your flight attendant vomit?
Wait, what?
Wait, that's
Uh-oh.
unrealistic. There's only like 2 ways I've ever vomited in my life, and it's not to do with food.
Oh, great. How do we clean this? What have I got in my hand? It's just food. How do we
It's
clean
rotten
this?
food. I don't
Great.
know. How do we get shit out? Do we have a trash can? We should have played the tutorial. Just land, Codee, land!
Yeah, 1 star.
Oh,
you know,
I'm
wait a
lagged
bit.
out.
It's fine. You lagged out?
Oh, never mind.
No.
We're here. We're here. I vomited a second time.
Okay, great. So can you
Go
stop?
crazy.
How do you
Go
stop?
stupid.
Do you get travel sick?
Me?
Yeah.
I think if I read for too long in the car, but I just get a massive headache.
What about when you're like flying?
No,
Do you
never.
get, when it takes off and stuff?
No, never. But I actually found something like the worst thing about me about
What's that?
when I fly. And I can't help it. And it makes me really pissed off, right? Because I want
Go
to not do that. Oh, we have to go get more fuel soon. But at
great.
this point now, every single time I get on a flight, the minute it takes off, I fall asleep. And
Really?
Yeah. And I don't, I'm like,
Huh.
I don't understand. But you know how they say that it's easier for you to fall asleep if you feel safe?
Yeah.
Apparently, I seriously feel safe in the skies.
Honestly, it's safer than riding on a roller coaster at a theme park.
It's also safer than driving. If you guys didn't know
Oh.
that. Hi, Ari.
Yeah.
Ari, I want you to know that I was envious of how much time you were spending with Codee. So I was like, Codee, please, can we hang out? Mwah! I love you.
I can't believe it. How could you be envious of anybody?
I don't know. It's just... do you think that feelings have some sort of logic at all?
No.
Exactly. Exactly. Because if we were logical, I feel generally I would not be here at all.
Yeah?
Yeah. Codee is just a silly
it's
little
like this-
guy. He's the cutest
Yeah,
silly little
I'm
guy,
little.
so...
Um.
Oh my god, our vomit is still here?
Why
My
is it
vomit
still
is still
here?
here? What do I...
Wait,
Oh, whoa,
so
whoa,
what have you
whoa.
done?
I am trying to clean up the vomit. Sorry, it's for your... It's for your... What is this? Can I fix my vomit?
Wait,
I don't
hold
think I
on.
can fix
I
my
gotta-
vomit. How do
There's
I
a
fix
thing.
my
There's a
vomit?
thing.
A thing? What thing?
I don't know. It's a question mark this way.
Okay.
I'm gonna hope
Ooh, a question mark.
that one of these is like a gas station. What is that?
Do I have to
Oh,
get
that's an
like
asteroid.
Should we get a janitor or something?
Oh, Lily, we're
Are we dying?
gonna die.
Oh no! There's other question marks. Oh, they're all asteroids. Oh lordy.
No, we might get lucky.
Yes!
Oh, we got lucky.
Sorry, we're lucky. I got really excited there.
Okay, I can't. I don't want to boost because otherwise we'll die.
You can't
Wait,
go
what
on
is-
cruises? Damn, that sucks for you. I love cruises. I can see
Why
your
is it turned
community.
off?
What?
Unless you turn it on through your reactor, you won't be able to dock here. Turn it on.
What the hell is a
Turn-
react? Oh, okay. Huh, huh, huh. Oh,
Ah.
are you? Huh?
I don't
Codee,
know.
what is happening?
I don't know. I can't control it. Quick, take over the thingy thing.
The what? The what?
The
oh
reactor.
my god.
The reactor.
Okay. I got this, you guys. I'm actually so strong.
Lily.
That was fucked up timing. There's no way. That
Wait,
timing.
where's this? Are you gonna fix the battery?
I don't know. Is it here? Is this the battery? You're
It's
the
over
one
here,
that
it's
did the
over here.
tutorial. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you watch me do it. It's up here at the top.
Oh.
You got the spatter, right? Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
gosh.
great.
At the
now,
very least, what is this?
Why can I not? Can I like
Why
double?
can you not fix it?
Yeah. Why can't I hold it? Can I?
We're here.
Is it okay? What if we don't have to fix it? What if we just have to turn it? Wait, it needs power? Why does it
we
need
not have
power?
power?
How do we do that?
I don't know, but
We're professionals, you
Okay.
guys. It's fine. Oh, do we have to?
oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes. How do I
So,
do?
How do we
I
shift
do
the power?
Oh. How do I? Like that? No. Did I not do that? Wait, can you try it? I'm gonna feed our passenger.
Okay, but if I let go of the thingy thing, I think it. Oh no,
Can't
no,
you
it's
just
fine.
like park it?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
the
Oh,
thing is floating again.
Oh shit. Well, where's the gravity thing? What's the gravity thing? The battery or which?
It's the battery. Yeah, it's the battery.
Damn, the battery needs a lot of maintenance. Oh, it won't let me. Are you sure it's the battery?
Oh, maybe. Oh, everything's breaking, Lily. Can you take the call?
Okay, I'll take the call. Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Okay, we've got one thing. Okay.
How do we?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Thank goodness.
how much money do we? We've got 96. Do we just spend all the money on? How do we up the fuel? Is it just-
Can we press O like that?
Oh.
We don't have that.
We don't have enough money for that. We're broke.
We kinda
What a
suck.
great airline.
Well, you know what? It's a space line, okay? It's my first time operating a space line. I think everybody can give us a little bit of slack.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to spend all the money on fuel?
I don't know. Should we spend all the money on fuel?
I don't know, Cody. I think you're better with money than I am, to be honest.
No, I don't know if I am.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Hey, Cody, do you live alone?
Yeah.
Okay, he's better with money than I am.
Okay, well, 69 sounds like a good number. We could do 69.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, now gravity. Gravity center.
Gravity.
Oh, that's the gravity thing. I remember now. Is it not?
Wait.
Oh, it needs
wait,
the power.
we gotta change the power. Oh, no.
To the gravity thing. There you go. There you go. See, you figured that out. Okay, now how do I give food? Oh my god, and then we need the power to that immediately? What is going on here? Do we only have like so few power?
Where's our space station?
Where are we supposed to be landing? Oh. There's a red little thingy there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, good, I fed him.
Wait, did the vomit just move?
Yeah, because of the gravity. Oh. Why do I still feel sick?
Why are you still?
What? Am I so? Wait, do I have to go to the med station also? That's insane.
Is there a med station? What med station?
Do we have to buy a mop now? Oh my god.
I mean, we're here now. We're here. Oh, we lost stars. It's because you were throwing up everywhere.
You made me nervous, Cody. You said 69 and I lost my shit.
Oh, shit. Understandable.
It's okay. We'll try it. Oh, it's because we got delayed also, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we did have to stop for fuel.
Right. We're very smart.
Yeah. It's like
congratulations,
either die or stop for fuel and be delayed. It's fine. And what flights aren't delayed anyway?
It's true. If you haven't delayed a flight, you're not a real space station, I guess.
Exactly. Like every flight in America is delayed.
Please don't remind me. Crash says, "Hi Cody, nice seeing you outside of TVS."
Hello.
I know. I've got a celebrity with me.
Yeah, please. I have the celebrity with me. You are the celebrity.
I don't think I've ever had more than like 100 people see me at once.
You're yes, you have. You celebrity.
Oh my goodness, we can generate names and stuff?
We can change it.
Oh, yeah. I can change my name. Una.
Ooh.
Lambda. Oh, I can.
Oh.
Upo. Upo is not the worst. Upo's not the worst. Oh, wait. Is this the... Hold on.
This is our...
Oh, this is for our air... Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, can we do grand feast? Can I do that?
Yeah.
I love food.
It looks like a fish.
I love food. All right. How dare us not...
Ooh.
Which one's closer to ours? We both have similar colors.
We do have very similar colors.
Which one do you think?
I don't know. The only one with blue is Spaceliner.
True. Real. Oh, that's perfect.
Oh my god. You know what? This is good. That's
actually perfect. You're brilliant. Okay. How do I confirm? Did I confirm already?
I think so.
Okay. A return. Should we change our name? Actually, yeah. What do you want?
I mean, it's just random generation, right?
Yeah, but which one's more interesting?
I don't know.
It's hard because I want to know what else they have, you know?
Yeah. You just like... Okay, pick a number from 1 to 10.
8.
Okay, click it 8 times. This kind of sucks.
Yeah. Okay, pick a number from 1 to 10.
3. This kind of sucks too. I don't... You know what?
Okay, the next...
Okay, wait. If you pick a number and I pick a number, we add them together and then like...
Okay.
Yeah.
6.
Okay. 1.
1, 2. It says quality.
You don't like quality?
I'm just saying. No. I'm saying that it says quality, so we should. You know,
Yeah?
it's
Okay.
better. I feel like it's better than budget.
Yeah.
Avery, thank you so much for taking your folks on tour. Hello, tourists. My name is Lilybell. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. And I'm with my very good friend Cody. Employee manual. Oh, there's an employee manual. Oh, does it actually do anything? Board passengers, dance. Okay, powering systems.
Preparing meals.
Oh no,
this is actually,
clickbait title.
There's an inspector.
What's the clickbait title? There's an inspector?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't like that.
I don't want to be inspected. Unless it's by...
Yeah?
Anyway.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, let's go in the hole. Whoa, wait, hold on. What is this?
Oh, cool things. Oh my goodness, is this so I can put... Wait. Put it down. I think I... Oh.
I got...
Wait.
Can you put it
I
on
wonder
it?
if... No, I don't... Whoa. What? I thought that I could. No? Oh, I don't think I can.
Oh,
I think this is just for fun.
This is a cool airport, though.
Yeah, it's nice.
Wow.
Just taking a stroll. Oh, what's that? It has an exclamation point on it.
There's loads of exclamation points.
This is the wrong way. Maybe we should go learn things. Maybe we should learn how to not be sick, because apparently I'm vomiting for zero reason.
There's a coffee shop here. I want to get.
Oh my gosh! What?
Can I buy coffee? I cannot.
We can't. Wait, but there is a.
I picked somebody up.
Dang, you're so strong. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got a cat.
Cat person. Manage.
Ooh.
Whoa! What?
Whoa, what is this? What?
Whoa!
Whoa! We could get stuff. Wait, are we broke? I mean, kind of, but not really.
Where did we get money from? I'm pretty sure we like spent all of our money. Okay, thank you for looking, Avery.
We got it from delivering. I mean, you know, getting the passengers to where they're
delivering. Delivering
them.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you're delivering them from one to the other. Also, thank you so much again, you guys, for taking your folks on tour. Tourists, I hope you enjoy me trying my best not to be completely suspicious here at all times. Oh, now choose a blueprint. Oh, we can choose different blueprints of different models of places. Oh, well, I kind of like... I wonder how much... I like that they have, like, divisions here. Is he gone? Is he dead? I think he's dead, you guys. Whoa. Wait. That was an accident. That was not supposed to...
Ooh.
Oh, he's back.
What? Sorry, I was just drinking.
Oh, okay.
This is a fancy loadout.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. Well, I mean, it's $400 though, so I just
That
happened
would put
to...
us at 27 bucks.
Yeah, I just happened to accidentally, that's why, click on it, but I did not necessarily mean to. Oh, they're all $400. Perfect. Let's
okay.
I'll wait.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't know. It's up to you.
I mean,
you're in charge of the money.
We need something that can like clean things with.
Right.
Do we have is there a shop what is this?
What other kind of
same?
shop is... It's the same, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Oh, whoa, not like that. Sorry.
Is this a shop? Deposit, withdraw. Wait, this is a bank. We have nothing in the bank.
Well, we have nothing to put in there either. Oop, pardon.
Wait, there's got to be a shop to like clean? There must be cleaning supplies, right?
Or get something, yeah. Unless we just don't. Like, oh, you just have to make sure you don't vomit for like for 3 trips or so.
I guess.
Okay, but my issue is, why can't I actually order anything here?
I would love to buy a coffee, but
Really?
whatever.
You a coffee kind of person?
I do like coffee. Being British, I'm supposed to like tea, but you know, I like them both.
Do you like
there's a time and place for both of them, you know?
being British? I'm supposed to like tea.
Yeah, right.
No, it's true.
That's
I
yeah.
just now I'm trying to think
also
like
being Asian, so like it's like double tea.
I feel like being it's a cha-cha, like chai tea. It's chai tea.
It's chai tea.
But now I'm like thinking like, wow, being American, I should probably like enjoy hot dogs more or something.
You know, yeah. You don't like hot dogs? Oh, it's another one.
I don't love hot dogs.
Yeah. Okay. Are we just actually supposed to? I think we're actually supposed to buy a ship. I think that's why they gave us like $400.
Oh, like a better. Oh, wait. Maybe some of these blueprints have cleaning supplies. We're a cheeseburger country. I love cheeseburgers. So yeah,
I
maybe.
do like a cheeseburger. I think the McDonald's cheeseburger is the perfect balance between cheeseburger meat and bun. Just a single one. Just saying. It's like it's just enough meat and just enough like bread to make it the perfect cheeseburger.
Interesting. Interesting you think that. Because I
Yeah.
feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's not enough meat.
No, I think there's enough to like satisfy you, and if you wanted another one, you could get another one. But like sometimes the meat, there's too much meat, and sometimes there's not enough bread. And then like with other burgers as well, they just break apart in your hands, and I hate that.
What other burgers? I'm a
big
burger
burgers.
connoisseur, so I would like to listen to this.
Yeah,
This is important to me.
So like with big burgers, all right. Let me take a Five Guys burger, for example, right? Now, with Five Guys, I don't. If you go to a Five Guys and you don't order like all of the things in it, then there's no point of you going to Five Guys. And this is just say
Okay.
So if you put everything in it, so if you get like a Five Guys burger all the way, and they throw everything in there, I always add in jalapenos as well because I like a little bit of spice.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. And then yeah, it just falls apart. You cannot take it out of that like aluminum.
No. Say it the way you say it. I don't get to hear it often enough. I barely get to hear you at all, so I would love to hear the way you say it. Aluminium?
Yeah, so basically, you can't eat a Five Guys burger out of the aluminium foil because it just falls apart. So you have to keep it in there. But I like the feel on my hands, my fingertips of like the feel of a burger. You know, like being able to squish it without feeling metal between my fingertips is nice.
Messy eater.
I mean, not necessarily. I've had a clean burger. One of the cleanest burgers I've ever had in my life is a Yorkshire pudding burger. I don't think they have Yorkshire puddings in the US.
No, we don't.
No,
Funny enough, I actually don't like Yorkshire pudding almost
That's
at
crazy.
all. But I have to tell you, there's a reason why, and it's not the food.
Yeah.
My most recently passed dog is a Yorkie, and for some reason, he actually smells like Yorkshire pudding.
What?
And I never even knew this, and it sounds ridiculous, I understand, but I went to go eat at a steakhouse, and they had Yorkshire pudding, and it came out, and I was like, this is weird. I can't eat this because it smelled like my dog.
That's understandable.
Also, what is a Yorkshire pudding burger?
It's basically you replace the buns, the burger buns with Yorkshire puddings. So it's 2 Yorkshire puddings, slab of meat, and the rest of the stuff. So good. I traveled up north for that. It was a 7-hour journey just to get that burger.
I will do whatever I can to
like
go to the UK
stint.
next, you guys. I'm just letting you know.
I went on like a stint where I was traveling like to various places to try different burgers, and I had a ramen burger as well, which was like fried ramen as buns instead of
Yeah, I've tried something like that before.
yeah, and I've had a donut burger. That was pretty good actually.
I feel like you've tried more American things than I have. That sounds more like I don't know how to say that, but a donut burger sounds incredibly American.
I think it was an American type thing.
It was like, oh, this is what it's like in America. America burger, and they put donuts in there.
Literally, it was like 2 Krispy Kreme glazed donuts as the buns, and then like an actual burger in it. It was pretty good actually.
That's... I don't have enough to say about that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, don't knock it till you try it. Is all I'm
It's
saying.
not about the knocking or trying. I would.
Yeah.
It's just about the idea that somebody would go, this is an America burger. And they have the nastiest, like they have the things that will clog your arteries within a day kind of deal. Like you put donuts, it's got like two levels of cheese, bacon, like an egg in there, probably like
actually,
two
it had
patties.
candy bacon in it. It was
I
pretty good.
knew it. I knew it. There's no America thing that I've ever seen in my life without bacon on it. They're like, they love them. They love the cow, or they love the pigs. Get on there. It's true.
Good.
Okay.
I do like a bit of bacon.
I understand we're having a great yap session, but real quick, I see there's a little blue thing over there. Do you see the little blue thing? That's the toilet. Oh my god. So do you think like we can...
We should get one with a toilet.
Should we do that?
Yeah. Why not sit on the toilet?
No, Siri, I'm not talking to you, you dumb bitch.
Sitting on the toilet.
Oh my god, there really is a toilet. It's kind of insane. I don't know.
I think we do need a toilet. I think every every plane needs a toilet.
I also agree. Every plane should have a toilet.
Yeah.
You never see. I understand sometimes it's a.
Oh my god, it's got seats though.
What? This one has seats, but it doesn't have a toilet.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem, no?
What is that yellow thing over there? Wait, does it have view systems? Oh, it has a view systems thing? Okay. Oh, it has maintenance. Okay. Catering, cooking, gravity power. Okay, seating, and then the propulsion.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Go. Return and then return. So what about this? What systems does this one have? Ask him about the bacon. What? The bacon milkshake.
Bacon milkshake. You can get bacon bits in the Five Guys milkshake. No. I say no. Like I have never had that before. I definitely have had that before. Usually, if I go to Five Guys, because I've got one that's sort of nearish me, and if I ever go in there, which is not often, and I get a milkshake, it will be a peanut butter and banana milkshake with.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That sounds yummy.
Is it with the bacon bits?
No. That is.
You gotta put the bacon bits.
I know honestly, you can't see me.
Bacon goes with everything.
But if you could see me, I want you. I look like that Zach Galifianakis inside of like the Hangover, where he's doing calculations. Do you know that meme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you ever had? It's like maple bacon. It's so good as well.
Am I wild, you guys, or do we actually not have something like that in the actual
like
U.S.?
Maple bacon.
No, we have maple bacon, but like we don't put bacon in our milkshakes.
I don't know.
Okay, as much as everybody, here's the deal. I think as much as everybody talks about Americans and their food and being obese, I think other countries have worse food, but because they have less of a car culture and they're less about sitting in cars, and they have more walkability, they have subways and such like that. They just are able to work that off a little easier.
Because you gotta walk to the restaurant in the first place to get there.
Exactly. It's different than like in California, you can't go anywhere without cars.
Yeah, this is true.
You guys have the tube.
We do have the tube. You guys have like really crappy public transport.
I mean, I wouldn't say my high school car is crappy, okay?
That's not public.
She's wonderful.
That is not public transport, okay?
I did on my flight to or the UK, I forget. Yeah, probably on your flight to the UK, because I'm pretty sure your flight to Afkai did not allow you to have bacon milkshakes, okay? I doubt it. I'm sure they didn't even give you the option to have food. I'm just saying. Okay. Anyways, somebody asked, chips or crisps for you?
What do you mean?
What do you enjoy more? Like things. I understand. So like if you had a burger, do you like a burger with chips or do you like a burger with crisps?
It's a burger and chips or burger and fries for everyone. Like I had a really bad moment. One of my first negative moments in the US was accidentally ordering a steak and chips.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, so I was in New York for a work thing, and and they paid for like the dinners and stuff. So I went down to at this point I was staying in the Marriott in the at Times Square.
Uh-huh.
So it's quite a nice restaurant.
Special.
It was quite right. Yeah, it was a decent restaurant. I was just there. I was like, all right, cool. Let's do this. And then I basically ordered a steak and chips, and they came back with like steak and a fucking packet of Lay's just sprawled over the plate.
Oh, you
and I was like,
poor sweet pea.
what is this? What is this? Anyway, that I learned my lesson after that, and I continued to. And whenever I wanted chips, it was always fries. So you know, and that was it. That was my lesson. Lesson learned. Always order fries in the US and not chips, because they don't understand that.
No, it's gonna be
Except
great.
when you go to an Irish pub, because then they understand it.
That's called, because it's what it's called. It's what they're called in the Irish pubs. I love good Irish pub, but
I
also
love good Irish pub.
it's gonna be great, because I think going to the UK, maybe somebody would. I was thinking, right? I was like, I wonder if that would happen to me in the UK, and I have to be honest, probably not.
Yeah.
Yep, probably not. I think I've spent way too much time watching UK media to have that issue anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I dated a guy who worked at the chip stand, so
As in like a like.
it's like a fish and
fries?
chip stand.
Okay. That makes sense.
He called it the chippy.
The chip.
He,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
a
he
chippy.
calls it
It's
a chippy stand.
They're kind of like a they're kind of a dying breed.
the chippy stand.
Yeah, like
Aw.
it doesn't really exist anymore. There's too many chicken shops.
Chicken.
Yeah, chicken.
I mean, I guess it's nice, but also at the same time, boo. Wait, are there any at all?
I mean, there's still some. If you're lucky, you'll find some. They're mostly
know
by the
any?
by the coast. There's a couple by the coast. So if you want to go to like an actual like good chip shop, we'll go to the coast. There's a really good place in the UK called it's like in the southwest of the country. There's a place called Cornwall, and it's like a surfing town, and essentially like all the chip shops there are like really good, because they're all like freshly caught fish and all that fun stuff.
Will you take me?
Sure. Whenever you come to the UK, we'll go on a trip to Cornwall.
Shore doesn't have enough confidence in there.
Yes,
I have fear
there you
now.
go.
He's like,
Come to
yeah,
the UK
sure,
and we'll go to
maybe,
Cornwall.
I guess.
We'll go to Cornwall. It's a whole trip. It's just we'll stay away from London, because everyone gets robbed in London. We'll just go to Cornwall and get
Jokes
fish
on
and
them.
chips.
I have zero money. If I have if I'm able to ever go to the UK, my money just went there. That's it. I have zero money. And I don't even have dignity for them to rob anymore. So good luck, buddy. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. See, you say it's a whole trip, but like, what does a whole trip mean for you? Like 2 hours?
Nah, it's longer than that. Hang on, let me do a quick calculation. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around like 4-hour drive or something like that.
No, I see. Okay, yeah, that is kind of a trip. That's like from here
It's
to
a
Vegas.
trip. It's a mission.
That's from LA to
That's what
Vegas.
I would call it. Let me have a
Oh,
quick.
well,
Yeah, it's a 5-hour
22
drive.
is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Wow, I didn't realize anything inside of the country could still be that far.
I mean, from where because I'm in the south of the country. I'm like the capital. What the
What's
UK
the
is basically
capital
known
of
for,
the
yeah.
UK?
London.
Oh,
No, it's the capital of England. But you know, London is.
oh, okay, sure, yes.
Yeah, because we're
You're in London?
Yeah, I'm in London.
Jesus, look at this.
Yeah, exactly.
Look
That's why
at
I'm
this
suffering
freaking
every day.
guy. My God, you what?
So I'm trying to survive every day.
He's like, I come home and I have a
for survival.
I come home and I have a 2-pound cup noodle just to be able to have a roof over my head here.
When I was a student, when I was studying at university, I was living on like 12p cup noodles.
Oh gosh.
It was
There's
great.
12 pounds there?
No, it's 12p.
12
So it's
pence?
like, yeah, like I don't know, there's like 20 cents or something.
So pence is a real... Wait, hold on. Pence is a real currency?
Yeah, people still use it. It's not often, and that, like, yeah. Wait, did you not think it was real?
Hold on. I have to admit. Wait, go to the red. Go to the red. The red, honey. That's where it is.
Red?
See, it has like a big red arrow. Did you see the big red arrow?
But you see there's a thing. There's a special, I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of curious.
Okay.
We're gonna get delayed though. We're gonna delay the flight.
Okay.
I'm delaying the flight.
Okay. Some ADHD ass shit, but okay. No, see, cause a lot of popular UK media for Americans just happens to be, you know, media that probably doesn't have, oh, we have to call. Media that doesn't happen to have necessarily, how do I say this properly? A lot of popular media happens to be like what, Harry Potter and Doctor Who. So I don't know what's real and what isn't half the time. Except for the accent. I'll pick up on that bitch anytime. It's a hitchhiker. Say no.
Say no to the hitchhiker.
Are they paying me? Oh, well.
They're paying us.
Oh, they're paying us. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. We're fine then. It's fine. What, are you trying to be weird? Oh my God, are you trying to cause trouble? Hey, yo, bitch. Oh.
Wait, what? Oh God.
Oh no, they're getting sick. What do we do?
Oh God, I had the gravity. Oh, I turned the gravity. Oh, I see. We actually need that.
Ow. Oh gosh.
Okay, get off the controls. This is my thing.
How do we dance? Only you can dance, I think.
No, you push the middle mouse button in.
Oh,
the
right.
scroll button.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Oh God, I'm going the wrong way.
Oh, it's like a little mini game. My dude, I don't know how to tell you this, but oh, he's being devious. He's being stay away. She's getting sick by the. Oh wait, can I help her?
How do you?
Uh-oh, that can't help her.
Can you just throw her out?
I'm dancing for her instead. Stop! Stop moving, you dumb. Oh my God. Oh no. What the?
Actually, we're nearly there, I think.
Dude, do you see this dude? Do you see this guy? He continues to. What does he want?
What is
Stay
this guy
away.
is in trouble. Oh,
He wants music, I guess. The girl. I was telling you she was getting sick.
it.
We don't have an infirmary system.
Yo, I don't know what an infirmary system is.
You gotta understand, as Americans, we hear this. Wait, you've never been to the infirmary?
No? Isn't that just a hospital?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then I've been to the hospital.
You gotta understand, as Americans, we hear this and that, but at the end of the day, we see the UK as Hoppington. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Bruh. That's the Shire. Anywhere in the UK that ends with Shire is the Hobbit. Hobbits.
I wanna go.
Hobbit land.
I feel like in the UK, there's a lot more opportunities for people to live their how do I say that?
Best life.
It's like a cozy village life. You know what I mean?
I mean,
what do they call that?
I've always lived in the city, or in a city, so I don't know about like village life where everybody knows each other.
Look at this freaking guy always living in the city.
Remember?
City boy, city boy.
Yeah, I love the city because everything is open till stupid o'clock. I can go to a subway if I wanted to at 4 a.m.
That's understandable. I feel the same way. When I was doing my road trip across the US, that was the saddest thing about it. Like, I was really happy to see all the beautiful sights, but beautiful sights usually meant I was sleeping probably, or I had nothing else to do for like by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, there's places in the UK that close like stupid early. So I know there's places I've been to in the north where like stores and stuff close at about 6 p.m. or maybe earlier than that, 5 p.m. And it's like, what do you do in the evening? Okay, I think we go on a couple of trips and then we get to the station, and then at the station it cleans up our vomit.
because we don't have an infirmary system yet.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens.
Which way do we go?
I don't know.
Do you want to go to the pink planet? We're gonna go Sigma 3, Sigma C, or the pink planet.
Sorry, I'm not really into Sigmas. Let's go to Neptasis. Yeah. I live in the worst area in the Northeast with the highest knife crime. The highest knife crime in the Northeast.
I mean, I live in London, where it's the highest knife crime in the UK, so...
This just sounds like any city, so...
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, there's good and bad places of every city that you go to, right?
Yeah, it's true. This makes me upset. Now I want to go so bad.
I remember when I was in San Francisco, like I was telling people that I was going to go downtown, and they were like, "Oh my God, you got to be careful when you go downtown, because you know, be just careful." I was like, "Oh, okay."
And you wanted food. I mean, yeah, everybody kind of says some stuff like that. And San Francisco does suck, though. Oh, you know that at Offkai, I was hanging out with a friend, and their rental car got broken into, though, right?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
really?
we came out of dinner. We went to dinner together, and they had a rental car. And after that, our rental car got broken into.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, the window got smashed.
Bro, that happened to me once, and... but it was my car. Oh,
car?
It was my car, not a rental. And then
I'm so sorry.
I mean, honestly, it's not that deep. Like, people.
I think you have to call. No, you have to call to dock.
Wait, I don't have power. Is this still ringing?
I don't know. It just stopped ringing now.
Is it ringing now?
Oh, now it's ringing now, yeah.
Can you pick it up?
Oh. I thought we were calling them. Cody, it's ringing. I say, standing right there. Oh, money! I love money.
We're gonna pick people. We're gonna pick up the hitchhikers. Yeah. Anyway, so what happened was, like, my car got broken into, and then, like, at the time, I was with a bunch of, like, friends and stuff, and one of the people that I was with, because I was, like, really calm about it. I was just like, oh, you know, it's not that deep.
Right.
They were, like, really impressed about it, and then we ended up dating.
Wow.
Just because of, like, my demeanor whenever my car got broken into. Apparently it was just like, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I can understand that. You can go ahead and decide.
How much money do we have? We got
some money.
We got money.
How have I been, Ryan? I've been fine, thank you. Just a bit busy, that's all.
Just splash out, go all in.
No, I mean, it makes sense though. I feel like it's like knowing the confidence, knowing that.
Yeah, probably. I don't know, just being in control, I guess, of like bad situations.
Exactly, being in control, confidence. Like, we really like it when we can feel safe with someone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand.
Whack it up.
Huh?
Whack it up. Put everything in. All in.
Oh, it's all just on me. Oh, I thought that you were able to go do it.
Nuh-uh.
Oh.
It's because you answered the phone.
I see. I understand. We're getting better. We're actually so good now. We are getting better.
I mean, I'm going in the wrong direction. Do we need to... Oh!
We should probably do something. Huh? What?
There's a cleany thing here.
Stop, really? This is a long delay, though. I'm not gonna lie. Oh.
Can you answer the phone?
Oh, shit. I was sorry. I was dancing.
I saw you was busy dancing.
It was more.
It was important. Service. Oh, they can clean it.
Yay!
It's kind of expensive, though.
Yeah, that sounds like a cleaner, though. I have to be honest.
Okay, fine.
I don't know why I liked that one time Lily spoke Vietnamese. Because it was interesting, probably.
Different.
It was different. It was interesting. You're like, dang. My Oshi can speak two languages? You thought it was cool?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, everyone would be like, dang, that's Lily anyway. But second edition. An extra edition.
Extra
It's like
edition.
DLC. DLC.
The DLC. Exactly. You bought the Vietnamese DLC. That's insane. That's funny. That's sweet. Do we need this?
I don't know. What is it?
It was
it's fixing.
it's a
We don't
little
need
fixing
anything
thing.
fixed. Why? What is broken that costs $100?
I don't know.
That's crazy. We don't need
It says
that.
all. We don't have anything. The hull? No, right? Nothing fixed,
Yeah,
right?
no, we don't need that.
We're fine. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to dancing.
Yeah. All right.
I think they want it, you know? I want to give the people... I have to
I'll
give
just
the people
watch you
what they
from
want.
afar. It's fine. We're literally almost there. We're gonna make it.
Yay! You can watch me from afar.
I am.
You get
watching
special
from
shows
afar.
at night anyways, it's fine.
This is like off-kai. I just watch you from afar.
You didn't. You didn't, though. You didn't, though. You definitely didn't, though.
Yeah, we've got.
Yeah?
Anyway, we've got a really bad reputation here.
We do. Do we?
Yeah,
We do?
But yeah, we got no stars. We lost our one star.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was about a different kind of reputation, but
Okay. Wait, you were still on that topic.
yeah, my bad. No, we really do.
Okay.
Wait, why
I
don't
don't
we
think
have
we have
stars?
a reputation. I don't think there's any reputation. I don't think that exists. It only exists in. We'll next topic.
Yeah, I don't understand why we have a bad reputation. We literally helped hitchhikers out here, so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because we picked up the hitchhikers. They're like, oh my god, the flies are like, oh, Angie. Oh, I like this guy. No, not this one. Can I take this one home?
I like this one. It has a little X-ray guy.
Yeah.
Let's take him. Oh,
It's
I
like a
wonder
little
if you
jelly.
actually could just take him. Oh,
Did we take him?
does it work? Does it work? Are they with us though? We'll find out.
Oh, we'll find out. Where do we go? We got two choices.
Okay.
Susalon or Uvata.
You get to pick this time. I picked the last time.
All right. They're both the same amount of money, but let's go. I always go left. Let's go left. This is the thing with
You
me.
always
Take
go,
the left.
really?
Yeah.
Are you left-handed?
No.
Oh.
Just go left. If you go left, you can't go wrong, right?
If you go left, you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys all right? No, you're all left.
Exactly. And it's not wrong.
I don't want to alarm you or anything, but
Yeah.
your low reputation has attracted the attention of the... Oh, shit.
Oh no.
Bro!
This is the
Oh my
one thing we wanted to
God.
avoid.
I'm the inspector.
The inspector is
no.
coming.
Oh no. What did we do? Why are we like this?
I don't. Can we
I
just
think we
throw them
brought our
off?
friends. I think we did bring our friends. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, we did.
I'm
did.
in fear. I'm in fear. What do we do, Cody?
Oh shoot. What if we don't pick up the inspector?
I think he just comes on if I want.
No. We got
Okay,
a
what
dock,
do you need,
right?
honey? I'm going to give you food. I think we get in trouble.
No. Oh god, he's coming. Close the door.
Oh, can I have food, please?
Wait, you don't have food?
No, can I have the grill, please? He's coming either way.
Oh shoot. Oh god. Hold on. Just don't open the door.
You think I opened the door?
Oh god, he's opened the door.
Maybe you could try to find him with your distract him with your. Well, it's fine because we don't have any issues. See that? Oh,
no issues.
nice, great at distraction. Love it.
Yeah. I don't
Damn,
even
you're
know
that
if
good then,
we're
huh?
driving the right way. I don't
Oh
know
God,
if
oh God.
we're sailing in the right direction.
What do I?
Oh god, he's not distracted anymore.
It's okay. We don't have any irregularities. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're going in the right way. This is everything is fine. Yeah.
We're so good.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't fuel or nothing.
We have health.
Smooth flight.
Too. Exactly.
This is gonna be a smooth flight.
That's why the last one was a delayed one. You know.
Yeah,
Somebody had to take the. I'm sorry. I'm really focused on dancing here. somebody had to take it.
Are you good at DDR?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Are you good at rhythm games?
No. The only rhythm I'm good at is.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness, the health inspector.
Oh my goodness.
We're doing great. We're doing great. It's fine. We have had no problems. Everybody's happy. I'm keeping everybody satisfied. See, we're great at management games. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why don't you sound confident?
We have 0 stars.
Well, now we will get stars.
Will we? Okay.
I believe in us. Codee, what happened to this? Oh, see? We got.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right, ultra economy.
See, what happened to that confidence when somebody broke it? See, this guy literally has somebody break into his car and he's like, it's fine. He plays a game, loses 1 star in a game, and he's like, oh shit, we suck.
Nah, I'm a whole different person in person.
It's actually true. You're a whole different person in person.
Yeah. I have a completely different vibe. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's completely different, but it's
completely different, you guys. It's not even the same person.
What do you mean it's completely different?
Yeah. I don't know. It just is. You know?
Yeah.
He walks around with his chin up. He's kind of snooty even.
I think that's just British. It's aristocracy. And royal.
Is it not? Hello? Did I not do that? Okay. Whoa, what is that? Oh, it's just oh, cool! New employee!
Oh, wow. Wait, what does that even mean?
I don't know. I guess we can change between those characters because now we have a blonde dude.
Okay.
It's quite different, yeah? What's quite different? I'm just messing with him. I don't... Yeah. I think everybody's kind of different in person, except me. I'm pretty much the same, I think.
Yo, I think you're pretty much the same, yeah.
I've asked actually, and everybody says I've asked my any fans at my meetups, and I'm like, so does it track? And they're like, it definitely tracks. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be happy about it though.
From what I've had is I've had a lot of it's I'm different. I've had a lot of I'm different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, have you asked in what way?
No, I don't want to find out.
What? Why not?
I just want to let them have their let them have their own opinion in their own world, you know.
You just have fear that it's in a worse way, right?
Nah, it can be in a worse way. I don't care. Look.
Oh, good, because it's in a worse way.
My worst behavior. Hello?
Yes? No, sorry.
You were
I was in the middle. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Anyway.
Fine. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, you're wonderful. Just different.
Yeah. I got told I got told I was very good at holding conversation.
That's what's so different, huh?
And that's what's different. Yeah, because it's a different, because my online presence is different. It's I don't talk to people.
right. And I'm so glad. And that's why I'm so happy you guys hear this. He just said it, right? He said it a little bit earlier. I trained him to speak to me.
All right. Okay. Anyway.
Hey, you said it.
Yeah, I did.
I'm just repeating it.
You're repeating it.
Yeah. What, am I not allowed to repeat things from you now?
Nah, you're allowed.
That's what I thought.
No one.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't control no one.
Exactly.
But what was I saying? I noticed but there's no sanitation. Oh shit.
Shit, this is what happens when we don't have a toilet. Wait, there's a toilet place close by.
This can be quite uncomfortable. Organic life forms. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go.
You gotta go.
What do you mean I gotta go?
To the toilet?
No, that we have to go to the toilet area. Oh my gosh, she's
I mean,
freaking
we've
out.
got-
Oh my gosh, she's freaking out. Look at her. She's like in the corner. She's
Oh
like,
God,
ah,
she's
shit.
gonna-
This is my
she's-
corner, you
she's-
guys. It's
She's-
okay,
she's
girl.
gonna-
just
she's gonna-
hold.
Wait.
Oh my God.
We don't have the power to the thingy thing. Quick, call him.
I'm calling. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm learning.
She's gonna
Don't
go.
worry.
She's gonna go.
Okay, go to use the bathroom, dumb bitch. Jesus.
What about the other one? This one looks like they need to go as well. The frog.
No,
Is
it
this a
says for some reason I can't help.
Oh,
it's
they're hungry.
food.
They're hungry.
They're hungry.
Okay,
Okay, perfect.
It's fine. Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Oh God, I took the power away. Whoops. Sorry.
Thank you. You're good. Yay. We did it. We're doing great.
Nice.
What
Well,
are
yeah,
you
we're
worried
doing good.
about?
This
Hello?
is
Oh, he
look.
wants some music. See that? I'm ready.
Yeah.
No, it's true though. I think you're you're very social, and you're still very
Am I?
great
No,
at
I
having
don't- yeah.
conversation. I feel like here and
I
now.
am a little bit better in person at talking to people than
Texting.
yeah.
Yeah, my favorite part is I actually said that the
Oh, you
first
did?
time I called you. Remember?
Oh yeah.
The first time I ever called you, I was like, Codee, I don't know how to tell you this, but you suck at texting. He needs to pee. He needs to pee. Codee.
Oh God, wait, we're low fuel.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Wait,
Why can't we see anything?
why can't we? Wait, is it broken? Do you need to fix it?
Oh, where's our thing? It's
I got
broken.
it. I got it. Shit. We need to scan for fuel.
And end up in a pee, I guess. Oh, there's a toilet.
Oh God. Okay.
We're not gonna have fuel, are we?
Oh, wait.
there's
Should
a
I get
fuel
fuel
station
first? Let's go get fuel first. Oh shit. Open the. Yeah.
Open the phone. Open the phone.
Open the door.
Open the door.
Hello, go pee.
Okay. What? Hello? Confirm. Just whatever.
Yeah. Okay. And then we go.
And
to
then
the
we go
toilet.
pee. Oh my God, they're gonna die. I think they're gonna like burst our bubble. Okay.
No. We got this.
And then we can
This
just
is
go
fine.
back to
This
the
is
gas station after. You're actually so good. You're right. It's fine. And maybe more mellow in person. Yeah, actually, Zara, you're definitely mellow in person. Holy shit, they're gonna pee in our fucking place. Holy
No,
fuck.
they're not.
They're not actually. They're not
We're here.
actually. Yeah,
We're
you're right.
basically
You're right.
here.
You're right. 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 Let me talk. That's it. They peed.
Nice.
They fucking
Okay.
peed.
Everything's good.
That person could go, but the other one just peed themselves.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, this guy.
God, yeah,
this
they
guy ended up
actually just
peeing.
peed
They actually
themselves.
just peed
This
themselves.
guy just peed himself.
Fucking loser. God, he don't know shit.
Man.
Oh, freak.
Well,
I'm so sorry. Can I have a
can we clean him?
food, please? I don't know how to clean
What
him.
do you mean food?
Can I? I'm
You got
trying to
food
feed
here.
people.
Oh, the power.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I have no other words for that. The hell? Why can't I give it to them? Hello? What's wrong?
Do they not want it?
No, look, they're like making the thing. Is it because we don't have communication, so we don't know?
No, I shouldn't be. Wait. No, I shouldn't be. We're basically home anyway.
What the heck? What's happening? Like, do you see that? It literally
Yeah,
was
it
like,
says you
no.
can't give it to them. Are they just like not happy? What's going on?
I don't know. See, they're making like eating noises. You know, or like not noises. You know, that's like the way to like say. I think it's like American Sign Language. Oh, I think we need power to dock. No? Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Oh my Jesus.
Right, give me 2 seconds. I need to get another water.
Okay. He's so cute. Right when he comes back, though, I need to use a bathroom. No, not gonna lie. He can go ahead and Vaxian Softleaf is now boarding. Welcome to Louisville Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. What was I talking about just now? Oh, he can go ahead and entertain you while I use the bathroom after. Not trains, blah, but I'm happy to see you. Thank you. Yeah, Zero, you're definitely more mellow in person. But you're already a pretty mellow person, I'm not going to lie. Should you pay to win for today's banners? Why? Is it? Oh. That's a good one, though. Awkward dad jokes. I actually liked that one. I mean, do you like them enough? Wait, Topaz? Oh, Topaz? You need to make a cuppa? What are you gonna make a cuppa of? He's here?
A cup of these nuts?
I'm gonna use the bathroom. Be right back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they can hear me? Oh no, that's awkward. How do I entertain? I don't know how to entertain. I just fucking make videos online. Let's see. Megaphone? Let's do megaphone. Welcome everyone to Lilybell Air. Your flight will be boarding in approximately 20 in 69 seconds. Remember to wear headgear, protection, and pants. Pants. Bruh, guys, you know, this is really funny. This is, you guys are gonna laugh. Whilst Lily's not here. A long time ago, I discovered this game, and it's actually how I this entire game is how I discovered this entire game, because one time in a past life, me and Lilybell interacted in a past life, and I was gonna invite her to a collab. But I didn't know what game to play, and this was when was this game was like available last year, I think it was. This game came out in 2023, and I was like, oh man, I really want to invite Lilybell to a collab, but I don't know what she plays. And then I discovered this game, and I was like, oh man, maybe we should play this game, Space Lines. And I was gonna be like I was gonna DM her. I had a whole thing. I was gonna DM her and be like, hey Lilybell, ha. We've interacted not very much, but do you want to play this game? And I ended up not doing it. I ended up like being a chicken and not doing it. And so yeah. Anyway, tutus. What happened was I ended up being codee, and we met up at Offkai or whatever. And then I was like to Lily, hey, I know you're like going on a hiatus soon, but do you want to actually like collab before you go? And she was like, yeah, heck yeah, let's do that. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, there's a couple of games that I've wanted to play. There's like co-op games. And then I threw a bunch of games at her, and this was the one she picked. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't tell her that this was a game that I actually wanted to collab with her before in a past life. But I thought it was very funny. Like, it's like, you know, it was funny. But it's cool. Everything worked out in the end, right? Everything worked out in the end. So that's nice. But yeah, guys, it's like, I get to play a plane game with the airplane mascot that's going on. This is like the last flight. This is like one of her last flights. 07, right? Rip. I wanted to go to TwitchCon. I wanted to go to TwitchCon to just to appear at her fan meet and greet. But that shit was expensive. TwitchCon was expensive. Wait, she's hearing all of this? What do you mean she's hearing all of this? She can't hear all of this. She's not allowed to hear all of this. She's not supposed to hear all of this. Wait, she actually, fuck. She literally asked me earlier, because I went away, right? And she literally asked me earlier. She's like, oh, do you have wireless headphones? I was like, no, so I can't hear if you're saying anything. And she's like, oh, fuck. So it doesn't matter. It's like, so I can say, I get it now. She set me up. I've been set up. This motherfucker, she set me up. I'm gonna, wait, she can hear me now. Lily, I can hear you. Wait, did she say she was in the toilet? Lily, I can hear you peeing. That's gonna be like really awkward to listen to whilst you're in the toilet, right? Wait, are you flushed? Did you wash your hands? Are you washing your hands right now? Because, you know, cleanliness is key. Make sure to use soap. Also, did you poop? Remember to have regular poops. Pooping regularly is a sign of good health. Right? Yeah, yeah. That's pretty. What else can I do to make things really awkward for her? Lily, are you coming back? I miss you.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay,
much
hello.
for entertaining them. Hi. What's up?
This fucking...
Sorry, I went to go do my laundry also because
Oh,
my
okay.
roomie was waiting. Sorry, what's up?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's not like you didn't hear everything.
No, I didn't. I put my headphones down because I had to go outside to do the laundry. Why? What'd you say?
Thank fuck for that.
Wait, why? What'd
Fucking-
you say?
No, nothing. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Everything is good.
What did he say, you guys?
I didn't say nothing. Don't worry
What
about
the
it.
fu- what?
What? That's crazy.
No, now I want to know what's going on. Oh wait, what the hell? We can fuel at these places?
Well, apparently, I just
Dude, that's
fueled
so
up.
smart. Oh my god, what?
Yeah.
Wait. What did he say? What did you say?
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say anything.
You definitely didn't say anything about how cute you were being and you got this like game, right? And how you were trying to collab with me.
Okay.
How you're
you
trying
fucking...
Like how you were trying to collab with me before, but you never got the chance to, and then you met me at Offkai, and we had a very good time together. And then now you get to collab with me? That's so cute.
You played me.
I know. You like it.
Anyway. Shop. We could shop.
Oh god, I totally forgot to bring my chat back all this time. Cool.
Would you like to buy a deluxe ejector toaster?
Why do a cooking system ejects food when ready? Tired of getting yours in the under a hot laser? No, I never forget it. It's fine. We should buy a toilet if we can, though.
I don't think a toilet's available. Wait, what is this? Oh wait, there's different.
Do we get food or do we actually get locked into
Is it
that
we can
one,
buy an extra
Codee?
battery or
Yeah, I don't
like-
know. Codee knows that I'm a professional actress.
I do know. We've had this discussion.
Well, then you should
That's why
probably
I
just.
believe everything. That's why I'm gullible to everything that you say and do.
It's
That's
so
why I
cute.
believe
It's
your
my
lies
favorite
that I'm
thing in
your
the
biggest crush.
world. Okay. It's you know what? I'm so sorry. You're right. You're not my biggest crush, but I don't think anytime soon am I going to be able to date Don Hung from Honkai Star Rail or any of my Love and Deep Space app boys. So, or my ChatGPT
That's true,
boyfriend
I can't-
Elio.
I can't date mine, so it's fine. Whatever.
Exactly. So I mean, you know, you're a very close second, if that counts for
Yeah,
anything.
nice. I like this. You know what they say: first the worst, second the best.
Right? True. That's what fucking people who come in second say, so they don't feel so shit about themselves.
There's nothing wrong with coming second.
Yeah, you take care. It's because you need to make sure that the other person comes first, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wait, wait, are we talking about the same thing?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Look after everyone. You know, there's it's called a thing. It's a thing called empathy, right?
Empathy. Yes. Exactly.
Sure.
You know, servicing and all that.
Look after your homies, and
make sure your
treat
homies
everybody
come
well.
first.
And yeah, it's good karma.
Codee always
Just
makes
reminds
sure that his homies come first.
Yes, actually, yes, real.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I think we only have
What?
those two options. What is it?
We only
Lambda
have these two
post
options.
9 and what? What's the other post? Port 4.
Port 4.
Oh, I think the post is the ones where you can like get fuel, and then the port is the ones that you don't.
What are we at now? Beta towels.
Oh, I don't know. Never mind. Maybe I'm just a
All
liar.
right,
Maybe I
so-
just don't know anything, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a fucking dumbass. Sorry.
To the post or the port?
Let's go to the port. We went left last time.
Okay. Fine. We'll go right.
Maybe we can
Wrong.
be right this time.
But it's gonna be wrong. Look, if there's a right, there's always a wrong. But if there's a left, there's no right, which means you're always gonna be right.
None of this
Right?
fucking makes. What are you talking about? Is this like a British thing?
No, you know.
Is this a British thing?
I found out today though that "do you reckon" is a British idiom.
Oh, what?
Do you reckon? Like, do you reckon?
Oh, do you
This is gonna
reckon?
happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. I didn't
What?
realize that was a British thing. Yeah, I didn't realize that was a British thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean,
thought that
we
was
say
normal.
other things though instead of the
Oh, really? What do
inspector
you
wants to
say?
be here. I mean, there's other things that I feel like we say that y'all don't say.
Like?
Y'all.
Oh yeah, y'all.
Y'all.
Yeah, that's a strange one. Yo, I just reminds me of,
There's
of when
definitely
you
other
was doing
things.
the Southern Belle accent though.
Oh, yeah, true. No, it's
Yeah.
funny. I feel like I have a great time with that one, but I wonder if people like in the UK would have a hard time hearing it or
Yo.
hearing the Valley Girl accent. Okay, what is your problem? He needs to pee! Oh no.
God, we don't have anywhere to pee.
Oh, you
Please?
need food. Oh, you guys need food. Okay, well they don't have anywhere to move
Oh no, we
you.
have a PP.
We have a PP, you said?
Yeah, there's
Okay. I'm gonna move them here while I put the. I'm gonna. Okay, stay there and be your little bitch.
Can I pick them up? Which one needs the PP? This one?
That one.
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta switch the power.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hello. Okay, go pee. Why is this one angry? I'm gonna dance while you
It's
need
because
to pee.
of the food. They want the food also. Oh shit! We need to
God.
answer this. Did you?
Oh god! Oh god!
Oh fuck!
Oh fuck!
Oh my
Oh
god!
fuck!
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! I gave it to
We're
the
gonna
wrong
lose a lot.
person also. Oh shit!
Oh shit! There's no toilet.
Well, the health inspector is going to. We're not gonna pass. I don't think.
You know, it's fine. Can we? Is there a gun?
Oh!
Is that not the next best thing to do?
No.
No?
What does this
Okay.
person want? This person needs to pee now.
Oh god, they all need to pee.
Why do they all need to? Bro, I think we should probably get a
No,
different.
oh, there's one.
There's one. Okay.
I'm gonna boost. I'm gonna use all my fuel to boost. Wait, we're nearly there.
You should be cautious. If you keep accelerating like this for too long, you. Okay.
Okay,
Bye,
okay.
Ryan. Thank you, honey. Goodbye. Hi,
We're literally
Uni.
here. You know, can we get there before they need to pee?
Oh my god. We need power though. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh my lord. Oh! Okay.
Okay.
I'll take it. We'll live
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
Woo! Anna arrived on time. Yay! I can live with it. As long as the inspector's okay, right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Screw that
Oh my
guy.
god, we definitely need to buy a toilet next time.
Yeah, I think we made a mistake by not getting a toilet.
Exactly. I guess.
But you know,
exactly.
seats are important.
I thought.
Do you when you fly, are you an aisle seat or a window seat?
Oh, I definitely am an aisle seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel bad if I ask others to go to move to use a restroom.
Mm.
Yeah, even though I love the view, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if I'm going alone, then for sure I am doing aisle seat.
Mm-hmm.
Why, are you a window person?
I say, I'm that guy that pays extra for that seat at the front of the row.
Look at this guy paying extra for the seat at the front of the... I'm telling you.
Hey, it's not business class or first class or anything like that. I just want that leg room.
I understand it, but it is extra.
Yeah, it is extra.
Wait, how can you buy fuel here? We should buy fuel.
Okay. We should max our fuel even.
Yes, I agree with that. Why don't we have the last bit of fuel? It's kind of unfortunate.
Oh, I guess we need a bigger engine.
All right, data. Lily going into my pocket. Thanks, Happy. I appreciate it.
Pocket Lily.
What is
I'd
this
pay for
one?
that.
Nothing to clean. Okay, great. A pocket lily.
Yeah, like a Tamagotchi.
Oh, oh my goodness. I actually have to tell you something, but remind me later.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy.
Oh, okay, okay.
I love that Cody will just laugh at everything.
I think that's do you not just laugh at everything? Do you just not find life just enjoyable and happy and funny? Okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I just laugh at everything.
Cody, I think I told you I take medication, right?
Yeah.
Cody,
I think that's didn't one of our
yeah, I'm pretty sure we've had
one of our first conversations because I was because of my wallpaper, right?
What?
My phone was because it was my phone wallpaper, right?
I don't remember. Oh, I thought it was because of us getting to know each other, but also your phone wallpaper. Yeah, okay, I agree.
Yeah, that was.
You do have a type. Point. You do have a type.
No. Okay. Anyway.
It's true. I don't know what to tell you.
So what you're saying is my type. You fit in my type, is what you're saying.
I don't know, Cody. Do I?
Anyway.
Don't we all have a type? Yeah.
We all have a type.
I think we all do have a type.
Yeah.
Mine just happens to be a very interesting range, that's all.
My blood type.
Your blood type is O?
I think so. Is that normal? Is
universal donor? Wow.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, you're how
cool.
I got you.
I'm a universal donor.
Wow.
I will don you.
Okay.
Donate you.
Okay, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm happy for you. You guys hear that? He'll don you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm focusing really hard on this game.
That's okay. I think that's good. Look, you did. I did ask you if you like management games, and well, we did talk about it, and you was like, yeah,
I love management games.
And this is exactly what that is.
Do we have a P thing? And you're better than you keep saying you are.
Nah, I'm just scanning. I'm piloting it. It seems like I'm just good at like. Oh, there's P thing here.
Okay.
I mean, the toilet.
A toilet. Yeah. Do we have a P thing? Okay, let's go to the P thing.
All right. I gotta change the power across. Oh god, wait, not yet. Okay, now.
Oh, thank God.
That wasn't even
immediate. Oh, thank God. Oh, dude, this is we get better. We get what the heck? Oh, okay, so when we're docked, we can't do stuff, I think. Oh, can I have power by the food, please?
Oh yeah, sorry, I took it away by accident.
His type is Suise, as far as I can tell. Yeah, he has a different range also, by the way.
Do you know Soma?
Soma?
Maybe not. It's okay. So I was talking to one of my friends, Soma.
Soma, what's Soma's last name?
I gotta go to Discord for that. I don't know.
Is it Soma Regal?
No. Soma Psycho. Oh god. Oh god.
You hit an asteroid, by the way.
Oh, I hit an asteroid? Oh, this.
Oh!
Oh.
Soma, I hope it was worth it! Oh, I do know Soma Saika.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Soma. We talk.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I forgot what we was talking about.
Your type. You're mentally ill. There's two types. There's Suise, and then there's mentally ill. I don't want to put her name down. So
yeah, so Soma was talking about it, and he was basically just saying how I have a public Oshi and a
private Oshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely true.
Anyway,
Mentally ill and incredibly problematic.
Yeah.
I only have.
You know.
Oh, never mind. I think I am your type.
I mean, we've had this discussion.
Ugh. I accidentally clicked the thing.
Yeah, it looks like we got new logos and colors anyway. So, you know.
I know, but what if I just What if I just wanted to hear it continuously? Q,
Yeah.
Q, 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 Q.
Was it Q? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, it's Q.
It was
It was
quality
Q.
something. Quabity, Q. Oh, there
Q,
you go. Okay,
quality, sure.
Mixed space flights? That's
Mixed space.
insane. Cool. We have modern art.
Wow.
If you happen to want that one. I'm not gonna lie, I still like
really
food.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have Mr. Sashimi now. Cool.
Oh,
Awesome.
cool.
I'm good with kicking.
This is good.
This is our life now. Oh, yo, what's up? Who are you?
Oh yes. Oh wait.
Oh
who's
no,
this?
I do not want. That's our ex. Yeah, you can be the little bug dude now.
I like this guy.
I know that was the guy that you liked, right?
Yeah. This is the.
Oh, we need to go buy the one with the toilet. I don't even know what to say. What did we get in the last one?
The one with the seats. We went for comfort.
That's nice. Let's get a toilet.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it's my friend.
It's your friend.
Yeah.
No, back. I don't want it. I want the one with the toilet. There's
Yes,
3
this
fuel
is the
tanks, 2
toilet.
hull points, and a passenger. 12 passenger limit. That's pretty sick, actually.
They're
Wait,
just gonna be
hold
running
on.
around though, but it's fine.
It's fine. We're just fine. We'll figure it out. Oh, this was the one that you did last time.
Yeah, we did.
This
that
one doesn't have a toilet?
A? I don't think A has a toilet.
Man,
What
A
is that?
doesn't even have anything. Why the hell would I want that? A doesn't give me anything special.
I think it has a vending machine.
I don't need that. Okay. I'll buy. We can buy?
Yeah.
What's a paint job?
It's when you. Oh, we don't have any. Okay.
It's when you what?
It's a different kind of job. You know? Oh, okay. Like it? Nice. Wow.
Is the D in your name capitalized?
And I don't think it really matters.
It is, isn't it?
Really matters.
Doesn't it?
I mean, it is. Usually it is, yeah. But like, I don't
It
capitalize it when I
matters.
talk to people.
It matters.
Yeah,
It's
on
your
my emails I don't
name.
capitalize it.
Huh?
In my emails I don't. My business emails I don't capitalize it. Yeah, but
It's your friend.
Yeah, well, I'm taking my friend.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
I can only imagine the amount of D's nuts jokes. D's nuts
Honestly,
jokes
I
Cody
don't
gets on the
get it
regular.
as bad as like Lady, because Lady has a good name for these nuts.
Ladies nuts.
You know,
Oh, it's
Ladies
good.
nuts.
That's
It's
a good
really
one.
good. Yeah, and Heidi as well had a really good one. Heidi's nuts.
It's true. Hide D's nuts.
Yeah,
a
I'm
good one.
like the bottom.
Are
of the
you?
pile?
Oh.
Of the pile for these nuts jokes. Yeah. Yeah. Not the bottom. The bottom.
I didn't say anything. I don't know
Nah.
what you would even insinuate.
The only time the other time I'm at the bottom is when I'm carrying. You get it?
Yes.
Yeah?
I do get it.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Sorry, I was imagining things. Sorry, I was visualizing things in my brain.
I see.
Realizing the
You've
entire
been playing
VTuber
with-
news
is
crew
that-
has
is-
recent D's nuts jokes names now. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Let's do
I
this.
don't know if I don't think False has a D's nuts joke. I like
False
he's just the D. He's just the D.
IDs. He is the D.
Everyone
Wow.
else has these nuts jokes. It's the co-hosts. That's why we're special. You know?
Yep.
D's.
D's.
Nuts. Yeah, just the D's.
Oh my god, I thought for a second we didn't have food because I just didn't get used to where it was. I'll feed you in a second. Chill. Jesus Christ.
I'm scanning. Do we need anything in
Do you need food? Do you need food? Do you need food? Do you need anything? Okay, I'll give you entertainment. I'll give you everything you need.
It's one passenger. You can entertain them.
Exactly. Oh, well, they walked away. Fine, bitch, if you want to be like that.
Mm-hmm. When I went to Canada, I got upgraded to business class for no reason. And
I swear to God.
Don't worry about that.
You're never getting upgraded in Canada ever again. I want you to know that.
Do you want to pick people up or no? We don't want to pick anyone up.
We can pick them up if you want.
It's too late now.
Okay. Okay. Goodbye. Okay. Okay. Goodbye.
Wait, I'm flying blind.
Oh my! Why? What's happening?
It's the layout. My God. It's confusing me. The layout confused me.
It's okay. It's okay. You got this. It's a practice run. It's supposed to be very easy, Codee.
Wait. Where is? Okay, this way. Okay. It's very easy. Anyway, yeah.
Yes.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Canada!
Oh yeah, when I went to Canada, I got upgraded to business class. And I was just like, oh shit, it's crazy. Wait, what was the point of the conversation? I don't know how we got into this.
Oh my God. Let's see. What could it possibly be about? Jeez. What were we talking about before this? Damn.
I don't remember.
Oh my Lord. Hi, Codee. I also have ADHD. What?
No, I took a test. I took a test earlier. Not today. It was like before because my sister was saying that she thinks she has ADHD. So we took a test together, and hers came out as a very high possibility of having ADHD, and mine came out as that probably doesn't have it. So
I think you're just nervous then, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't be nervous around the Lilybell?
My mom. She hates me.
You know, parents aren't nervous around their kids. That is very true.
Oh my God, we don't have a thing here.
We don't have nothing.
It's
because it's very easy. This is just a stop. We can pick up the news, find out the latest episode.
Okay.
Find out that Lilybell is going on a hiatus.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that was quite a shock for False to come into.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because False like raided into me, and then like right after everybody
I was watching
was
your stream when he raided into you.
Oh really?
Yeah, I watch your stream, just you know.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't know. No one needs to know that I'm watching your stream. I'm just there.
So cute. So cute. I would never be nervous around Lily. Okay, Micah. Alrighty. I have DMs of proof. I have DMs of plenty of proof from everybody here. Just everybody here. Okay.
I was nervous around Lily the first time I met her.
Why?
Why not?
Because there's nothing there to be nervous about.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing.
You could say that to anything that anyone gets nervous about.
Okay.
You know, it's nervousness when you know you're in front of somebody who's like just so renowned.
I don't know what I'm renowned for that would make you nervous.
So renowned.
I'm not completely convinced about that.
It's like gorgeous and won't let go of your hands.
Oh my God. Oh well, you have really good hands. I don't know what to tell you. You should have just pulled them away. I'm so sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. I was vibing. I was fine. You can hold my hands. It's like free.
You have very nice hands. I don't know what to tell you. I hope you know people have told you that now.
No, they haven't.
Oh, the health inspector is here, huh? Well, guess what, bitch? We're always gonna get the health inspector thing. Lily's a sweetheart.
Bitch.
I'm okay, Gambit. Thank you. We have a bathroom now, motherfucker. We're fine.
Motherfucker. Everyone can pee.
Everyone can pee as they so please. Now that now that we have it, nobody's fucking peeing.
I know, right?
They will, I think, in the
mean,
hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like once it starts getting more difficult. I think.
When it gets to like medium, we haven't even got past when it gets to easy, because I think people were starting to pee when it was like easy.
Oh really?
We died at medium.
We're gonna get to hard. I just know it. We'll get hard.
Yeah. Huh.
Hi, cool cat.
I see.
Pat that cool cat. What's up? I saw the announcement. Is the YouTube channel staying or going private? It is gonna go private. Ah, easy! God, this bitch is easier than us. When we met each other.
Yeah. Oh shit, we're like 1.5 stars. This is more than
oh my god!
this is actually more than we did last time.
Bro, we've just been practicing. We were actually just warming up, you guys.
Yeah. Real quality McSpace lights. McSpace spacey. Yes.
Quality McSpaceys. I really want
McSpace.
That's crazy,
It's
Zero.
like
Zero says apparently Culver's. Have you heard of Culver's?
Culver's? Is that a beer?
It's a fast food place.
I have never heard of Culver's.
And it does butter burgers. I don't know how to.
Butter burgers?
Yes. So maybe that's where people have the assumption that.
It's a butter burger.
Do you want to tell him what a butter burger is?
All right.
Do you want to do it, or should I? Do you want to do it, or should I?
It's a butter burger.
A butter burger?
Butter.
Can you try and give me your best Valley Girl accent?
What is it? Okay, give me an example, and then I will try and repeat it.
Okay, how about we just talk like in an actual full conversation? Okay.
Okay, how about we just talk in like actual conversation? What?
You sound like how I sound if I tried to do an English accent. So. But yeah, so apparently Culver's brought back a cheese curd burger.
Fucking, I hate. You go on, carry on. Sorry.
Cody needs a bit more sauce and less robot, and I think he's nailed it. Okay, it's not that bad.
So like, we're gonna embark into this spaceship.
Okay. You'll miss the Christian doc. Got through it because of you. Oh, thank you so much. That's all right, Pat. You still have a bit of time to catch up at least. And hey, I didn't say anything about not downloading. Technically. But a cheese curd burger sounds incredibly good.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Cody?
sometimes every now and then, every now and then I'll get like a voice note from Lady, and she'll do this really funny British accent, and every time I'll tell her it's not a good British accent. You remind me of when Lady does a British accent. The thing is, right, you have to get the British accent right, and in the sense that you have to pick which British accent you're going to provide.
Right, because there's all the different areas.
Exactly.
It's almost like in America when like, not an American accent. When people say an American accent, usually they just talk about the Valley Girl accent.
Yeah,
or
that's my impression
the California
of an American
accent. But
what's the California accent?
the California accent is literally what you're hearing right now, which is essentially just whatever you mostly hear from movies and media.
So what you're saying is the California accent is what I'm hearing right now, which is your accent, right?
Yes, and it's still not even the Valley Girl accent, which is a completely different accent and is a little bit more exaggerated in terms of the specific areas in LA.
Aha! Now I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get why people like the American accent and think it's sexy.
Why?
What? Because if it's the way you say it.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What? Yeah. What do you mean?
Like I get it. It's like I guess like people just like your accent.
Oh well, thank you. I'm glad people like my accent. I mean, I'm sure you get it all the time, but like you know, there's people who like
don't.
your. Oh really?
No,
Because
no,
I think your accent is sexy.
No.
So
No. Because my accent is like fucked up English, British. Like
okay.
there's so much. There's other British accents that are better than mine.
Codee, like no offense, but this is my opinion, so I don't think you need to fight it.
Yeah. All right. Well, fuck your opinion.
No, fuck your opinion, Codee. Try me, bitch. You've met me in person. You know I would.
Yeah. Would what?
Would fight you, bro. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Slap you right across the face, just like I always wanted to.
Slap me across. You've always wanted to slap me across the face.
I love slapping across
Oh, I see.
the face. I mean, if you want to let me slap across something else, sure.
What would that something else be?
Your ass.
Your Fair. All
Thank
right.
you.
Cool.
Have to make him pay for it first, Lily. I don't know what to say. Codee has a hold on me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I think after the very first night meeting him and literally holding on to his hand for like way too long, probably, and him not saying anything, maybe I wouldn't make him pay for that. We had a good night after too, though, right?
Yeah,
When
we did.
hang
It was a night of just like, oh my god, I'm so glad you're here. Like,
I know. I was so happy to see you. I was like, oh, thank God.
It was a good night. Yeah.
Luckily, after I met Codee, it felt very like natural and normal, so much so that I went to a party and I got there late and I saw Codee, and this was only my second time meeting Codee, but immediately I was like, oh thank God he's here. Holy shit. I was already feeling that comfortable with him. He's a very easy person to feel comfortable with.
I think you missed the part where, like, you know, you arrived and we didn't talk for like the first, like maybe half an hour to an hour of the of your arrival.
I said hello to you and then you didn't come after me, so I don't know why you didn't come after me.
Yeah, okay, I didn't chase after you. Okay,
Yeah, why
I was
didn't
comfortable
you?
sitting where I was sitting.
Okay, yeah, if you're more comfortable there instead of being with me, then that's fine.
But no, I mean, I did come afterwards.
Hmm.
Come to find you afterwards.
Oh,
Come
okay.
speak to you afterwards. I did.
No, you did not. I sat down.
I came for food and then I was like, oh hey, and then we was like, we were talking a little bit, and then and then, if I recall, it was like, oh hey, like let's go sit down over there, and let's go chat.
Really?
Yeah, that's what you said to me.
Oh, okay, cool. That's what I said to you. You didn't say that to me, though.
Yeah. But I came up to you. I was like,
you didn't invite me to sit down. I invited you to sit down.
You was playing Connect 4. I'm not gonna invite you in the middle of a game.
You could have come and watched me. I would come watch
watch.
yours. I would come watch your games.
Okay. I was busy talking to, you know, people that I'd never talked to before.
No, that's understandable. I know exactly who you're talking to, and I too would choose her. I love her so much.
Oh, okay. Wait, did you know each other before?
We hadn't met in person, but we've known each other. Like we've known each other for a while. Like we've hung out for a while.
Ah.
Yeah, I love her so much. Genuinely, I think she makes me so happy every single time I get to hang out. I got to hang out with her at Anime NYC also, and yeah,
it's so funny because it's like we've met like multiple times, but like we've only just followed each other after Vexpo.
Oh, that's so funny. What the heck? Because you guys have met each other at Akai as well.
Yeah, we met each other like multiple times. We hang out loads.
If you guys want context, the context is cool VTuber girl that most of you have probably heard of. So
yeah, just
insert name here, okay? You're going the wrong way, sweetheart.
Yeah.
What the hell? Just open the door. Can you not open the? Does it need?
There's somebody in there.
No, that needs power.
Wait, power? Oh fuck!
It needs power to use the. Holy shit!
Oh my god, I can't. Wait.
That's insane.
That's insane. I don't have enough power to distribute to all this shit.
Oh, now this is the management part. Ah.
This is a problem.
Well, we don't need food necessarily just yet, so if you want to take away from the food, I can just tell you whenever.
There's no food. Yeah, this is a problem.
Okay, well now we need food.
Oh, okay. Well, oh god damn it.
It's so far. I'm so sorry.
I can't. It's
You're
broken.
holding onto the tool.
Oh, I'm holding this-
Yeah, just go from toilet to food, honestly.
Yeah.
Just take
Okay.
from toilet. Yeah, go from toilet to food.
It's toilet food.
Excuse me. Why are you upset, my dude? Did somebody just give me a thumbs down? Okay, now you can go from here. How do I?
Oh my
from
god,
food
they want
to
to use the toilet. Oh, I'm picking up people.
Here, stay here. I'll dance for you.
Oh god. Do we need fuel? Should I stop for fuel?
No, I think we're good. Oh, wait. Oh, is white full or is white not full?
For white is not full.
Oh.
You know, it's probably fine, right?
Yes. Toilet to food. Food to toilet. Food to toilet. Okay, there you go. Oh, we need to clean up after too.
What do you mean we need to clean up? I don't have the ability to clean up. Oh my god, it's so dirty.
When we get to the fucking port.
It's so dirty.
Can we get to the other spaces, you think? Can we get to our port soon enough?
We're like 200. We're like 2 minutes away.
Wait, what the hell? Is she trying to... Cody, look, she's trying to hit on someone.
Oh god, this is... Oh, I like this.
Yeah, wait, I'm kind of interested. It's almost like daytime television.
Right? Let it happen.
I'm okay with this. If they fall in love, they better invite us, genuinely. Okay,
yeah?
well...
It's like they're gonna join the Mile High Club in the toilet.
No, I do not want that.
No, you don't.
I don't want it in the toilet, in our dirty toilet.
I mean, you know, you gotta take things when you get it.
I think that means they're in love with our flight. I'm not gonna lie, because apparently a bunch of them are doing it. Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
We'll find out once we see all the stars.
Oh my god, we got 2 stars?
Yay! Woo!
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
We're doing amazing.
We're doing amazing.
We're great at management games.
This is... okay.
What? You're doing amazing!
Yeah. We're doing okay.
What? Why don't you think we're doing amazing?
We're doing better than last time.
Thank you, sweetheart.
In comparison, we're doing better than last time.
God, you sound like my mom.
It's the
I was like,
Asian in
we're
me.
doing okay. Okay. Oh my god, it's a little tiki! It's a little tiki airline thingy.
Oh,
we need to get fuel, so I'm gonna get fuel.
I've drinking one of those before.
You what?
Like an alcoholic beverage in a tiki cup.
Oh, tiki drinks are the best. They're the heaviest, and that's why they're the best.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I filled up all of our fuel, so we don't have to worry about it.
That's fine. We got money.
We got money. Well, we need to clean also.
Oh, okay. Now
we have less money.
Don't have money.
Well, we have less money, but it'll be fine. I love those sweet drinks, dude. They'll mess you up real easy because of how easy they are to drink.
Yeah, it's true. It's like drinking juice. It's like a Capri Sun.
Mm-hmm. And they're so heavy. Repair ship. Oh no, we're good. Capri Sun.
Yeah.
I should do more drinks with Capri Suns.
You have drinks with Capri Suns?
I should do more. All you take is the Capri Sun thing, and then you put alcohol in it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was more like technical than that, but understandable. It's fine. It's just juice.
Yeah.
You just put gin and juice, gin and Capri Sun.
That'll work. My gin and juice.
Exactly.
So my family has an alcohol buff. Yeah, my family too has an alcohol buff. It's quite unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh.
It's not, sweetheart, it's not good. I spend so much money for alcohol. You've seen me.
I have. Yeah. It's one of my first interactions with you was alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know we were drinking, but...
After the hand holding, this is how it went. This is how it went.
Oh my god, I don't remember anything.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well, I remember
Codee,
a lot.
Hey,
But...
I'm gonna reenact it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm you. You're me.
Okay.
Codee, do you want to get a drink? And then you say, oh, but the bar's closed.
Oh, but the bar's closed.
Don't worry about it. I've got some whiskey. Just over here. Come.
Okay.
And then you pull the whiskey from this table of like people that I've never met before, and you pour me a drink, and you're like, oh, here, and then say, am I just gonna drink it straight?
Am I just gonna drink it straight?
Yeah, we're gonna drink it straight. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. that was.
Do you usually not drink your whiskey straight?
Well, I mean, it depends on the whiskey. But yeah, we
It was good whiskey. It was good. It was expensive whiskey.
It was good whiskey, yeah.
No, it just the table of the people you don't know are people I do know, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And
but
that
it was my
whiskey.
experience. Okay, it was just
Right.
walking out to this table and then you just pulling this fucking bottle of whiskey from the table and then pouring me a drink. I'm looking at everyone and they're looking at me directly and you're just pouring me this drink and I'm like, oh hi, kind of thing, you know?
Oh, that's funny. Which whiskey was it? I think it was either a Japanese whiskey or it was this purple bottle. Something different because I was trying to I bought a different whiskey. Okay. I have a Japanese friend who brings me Japanese whiskey and I'll get him new like American bourbon, like different ones all the time. Exo, hi hon. And so I gave it to him, but then at that time we ran out of alcohol and his other friend wanted more alcohol. So we just took it from his room. So I think it was, I'll Jake, if I see it again, or I'll take a picture for you. Exa, thank you so much for taking your folks on tour. Hi, honey. Hello, tourist. My name is Level. I love to travel, but I suck at geography, and I'm trying to convince Codee that he's better at management games than he thinks.
I am fucking terrible at management games.
You're doing amazing.
It's because I'm being forced into it. This is another Lilybell taming session.
And can you believe he's still here and signed up on it? Is it Kyoto purple label? No, it was the one that I was saying was purple was definitely a bourbon, either a bourbon or a scotch, but it was definitely American. Okay, you ready? Okay. Bring the little jelly bean man.
All right, I'm bringing the jelly bean man. Actually, oh shit. I was gonna say, bear back a second.
I'm so sorry.
Give me 2 secs.
Yeah. I wonder if we can just, oh, okay, perfect. We have a little pause thing right here. But his headphones are plugged in, so he still actually can't hear me. Yeah, haven't tried bourbon in a while. I'm a bourbon first. I think you guys will be proud to know that I have improved, actually. I have not drank at all since Sunday. Woo! Yay! You proud? You proud? I have a shit ton of seltzers in my fridge, but I haven't touched them yet. You proud? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I hope you guys know that that is actually a feat for me. That actually is a feat for me. I've always wanted to drink with Tenma. If you guys know Tenma from Face Connect, because I know Tenma is a drinker, right? I've always wanted to do that. My thing is sweets. If it's delicious, I'm gonna get it. I have been having a lot of sweets though. I went to a Halloween event, because you know how all Halloween events are like early now. They'll start them at the beginning of September. And so I went to a Halloween event and I already got a shit ton of candy. If Tenma behaves
Candy?
anything, yeah. I went to a Halloween event recently because they start them so early now.
Really?
They do here. They so you know Universal Studios, right? They do Halloween Horror Nights every year. They started it on August 31st this year.
What the heck?
Yeah, so the entirety of September is now part of this Halloween thing.
It's like when the Philippines celebrate Christmas in mid-July. They don't celebrate Christmas, but all the Christmas decorations and stuff can be bought.
What? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there is a Christmas in July culture. Have you heard of that?
There is?
There's a thing. Yeah, there's a Christmas in July thing, or like, I don't know. I think it's because Australia, it's summer in Australia when Christmas comes around. So it like, I don't know, like kind of like comes back around in some ways, I think. But my brother and I are big Christmas people. So we celebrated it in July before and did like a cute little Christmas karaoke session.
That's fun. I think Christmas is a really fun celebration, regardless of whether you celebrate the tradition or whatever. It's just, there's so much shit that goes on in Christmas. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Christmas is, it's a whole other culture now than just where it started from, you know?
We have like a Christmas, a winter wonderland that happens every year in the UK. Well, in London.
Oh, I bet. I bet
yeah,
that's
really
wonderful. Nice. And I bet the snow must be wild though.
It depends. It depends. Like, I don't know. The UK is really funny with weather. Like recently, because obviously, I say obviously, but not really. But like the weather's been like all over the place. So it's been relatively warm winters. We haven't had a lot of snow, but the snow usually appears in like January. That's which is the worst.
I see. Yeah. So it's just a little late.
Yeah, you missed like the white Christmas, but yeah, everything else comes up in January. And
okay, how do I
like? I feel like America would probably have like better Christmases. Like
confirm and then there we go. Okay, America. It should be there, no? Oh shit, is it not there? Oh, somebody's in there, that's why. Oh, my bad.
Should I stop by a toilet, actual toilet thing?
No, we're fine. They're all coming out. No, we're fine.
Oh, okay.
Why are they not able to go in?
We just missed that rock. Just like.
Why are they not going in?
By a centimeter.
Hello, why aren't you going in, my dude? Oh, they bugged out. No, they bugged out for a bit.
Oh.
Oh, so they have a routine now. Yeah, so they asked for food and then they went to the bathroom and now they're asking for entertainment. Wow, I like it.
I'll give them entertainment. It's fine. They can pay me a premium fee.
I'd pay you a premium fee too.
Would you?
I would.
Like it's okay. I wouldn't charge.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's why I know I would pay you a premium fee because you don't really need to. I know you wouldn't charge me.
Oh shit. friends and family discount.
Friends and family discount. Look, they're all so happy.
I can't believe everyone's so happy. It's the toilet.
See, it all happened. It's just the toilet. See that? The entertainment was the shit they experienced along the way. Classic.
Classic. The shit.
Look at that, dude. We're gonna get 5 stars by the.
Are we gonna get 5 stars?
Codee.
We didn't stop. Maybe we need to make more money. Maybe we just stop and make more money.
Do you want money or do you want 5 stars?
I love money.
Okay, real. You know what? Sure. That works. Hey, at least he knows what he likes, right, guys?
Yeah. You know, money doesn't, they say money doesn't buy you happiness, but it makes you slightly more happy.
You're not wrong. Oh, what the heck? Oh, not a bank.
Wait, this is bad. This is a bad place.
What do you mean it's a bad place? Oh, the bank is kind of cute. Wait. What the hell is
what the
fuck is that? Oh. What? Insurance of what? Insurance? Dude, insurance is a scam.
Recovers your ship and upgrades in case of accidents. We don't even have enough money to buy insurance. That's a scam.
That's a scam. Yeah. Money doesn't make you happy, but it definitely affords you the opportunities to be happy. You're right, though. It's true.
Yeah. You know, the only insurance I buy is holiday insurance.
What?
Yeah, you don't buy vacation holiday insurance?
No, I don't.
Travel insurance?
No, I don't.
Bruh, but if your flight gets delayed or something, you get your money back.
But where are you going that has that kind of
fucking America
timing?
Yeah.
If you just get the proper wait, babes though. If you get the proper credit cards, and you book with some credit cards, they'll just pay for your delay.
They will.
Some of them, depending on how late your delay is.
I don't have an Amex.
Somebody, yeah. Somebody. I mean, not necessarily Amex. Maybe Chase or something. I don't know what you have. I don't know what you have available. You know what? I should just come over, honestly.
Yeah, you should. You should. I'll take you around. I'll be your tour guide. Wherever you want to go. I'd be honored.
I'm gonna make you go to like a bunch of Harry Potter shit. I want you to know that.
Fucking. Actually, the Harry Potter, is it Harry?
Wow! You didn't have to be so openly upset. Fuck. That's like if you came here and you were like, you know, oh, let's go to Disneyland, and I was like, shit, Disneyland. God, everybody goes here. Fuck you.
No, it's fine. The Harry Potter studio thingy thing is only like maybe 40 minutes away from where I am.
Yeah, see? Thank you.
Yeah.
Base? Shut up, we literally have a Harry Potter art together, Don't even sit here and lie to me saying base like that.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know nothing about Harry Potter except
I know you
that there's
do.
a thing called butterbeer.
Yeah, there is. I went to a party, like a family party the other day, and we actually okay. You know what? I'll message you separately.
Okay. Okay.
If I remember to, I will.
I am the only other thing I know
if we
about
could get
Harry
to a
Potter
cleaner
is
place,
Crucio.
that would be wonderful.
Crucio.
Thank you.
Expelliarmus Crucio.
Dude, it's like written into your language, obviously, apparently.
Yeah. Crucio.
Okay, I need to get. Hold on. Move over, my dumb bitch. Jesus.
Hey, wait, someone's fucking with the batteries.
Oh, me.
Oh, is he? I thought it was this guy.
I needed to cook. I don't think they have the option to.
Oh, I was picking. Oh,
I don't think they even have the option to fuck with the batteries. Oh shit! And now.
I don't know,
okay,
man.
after
We've
this
had
one,
some troublemakers. Can I pick someone up? Oh god.
Can you move the food over to the toilet, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. That sounds really bad out of context, truly. That's right, everybody. Get into the dance circle. Be happy.
Dancing.
Okay. They all just left.
Oh, okay. The toilet's really dirty already.
They banned that now? They banned what? Butterbeer?
Did they? No, you can
there's
still
no
get it over
way.
here
There's
in the
no
UK,
way.
man.
There's no way they banned butterbeer anywhere, bro.
We got like the good shit. You know, the food over here is like good. Uses better ingredients.
You have to take me to get. I don't know what that is. I want to. I think they just.
Oh god.
Get. Is it fries? Oh, Spuds. Spuds.
Spuds?
Yeah. Like they have like a whole stand for Spuds. Oh my god, can you go to the bathroom anywhere, please? Oh, after this asteroid thing?
Yeah, I'm just like navigating. Oh shit! Ah! Wait, it was only one? Nah!
Oh no!
No.
Running into the train station. Why would you not mention that first, Why would you say they banned that now and then saying running into the train section? We didn't. You did you? No, you didn't. I don't think. Oh, somebody else did. Actually, I changed my mind. I want to see Lily run into that wall in the subway thinking that she'll get to see the other train. Jake.
Oh, the one in King's Cross Station.
Jake, honey.
It's got like a,
I'm a fan.
Thing.
I'm not stupid. Okay? I'm a fan. Listen. I understand I play a cute little dumb valley girl here, but I'm not actually stupid. I want everybody to know that. I mean, I've got you guys here, so it couldn't be that bad.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the King's Cross thing. I think there was a big thing about it yesterday, recently, but because like Harry Potter or something or whatever, and a lot of Harry Potter fans were upset because they didn't do the announcement.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it. Well, they didn't do the announcement, and well, it causes traffic and it's terrible. I mean, it's
Yeah.
obviously upsetting because I would never get to experience it ever, right? But
I mean,
you know,
should maybe, I don't know. It's just lucky, isn't it? It's like
it's not. It's not lucky.
going to going to see the Northern Lights. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go
No.
see them, the aurora, and then you turn up, and then it might not be there.
No, honey. Every year previously, on like the 1st of September at a specific time, because 1st of September is when like the semester starts, right? They would do it, and so it wasn't a lucky thing, and that's why they caused traffic all the time.
Oh, so now they're gonna stop doing it forever?
Yeah, I think so, because you know it's not. I can understand it's not the healthiest for the people who actually use the station.
I mean, I feel like people will be using the station because they'll be trying to buy train tickets to get to the station in the first place.
Right, but like the people who use the station for actual commuting.
Oh, fuck those guys.
Oh.
Work from home.
Lucky you. You still have to go to the office every so often, okay? Welcome back, Hoppy. Welcome back. Yeah, no, if anybody wants to do their Harry Potter thing, just go to Universal Studios in Florida.
Yeah, or just go to the UK where we have the actual thing.
Yeah. Oh, I think the other British Isles also do. So, like, I think in Scotland is a lot, and then Ireland is a lot
yeah.
too.
There's little bits, right? But
Yeah.
the one that's over here in the UK, like I say London, it's not London, it's outside London. The one that's like in Watford is like the actual studios, Harry Potter studios.
Right, the actual studios, of course.
Yeah, the actual studios where they filmed it all and stuff.
Well, they filmed some of it.
Some of it, yeah, some of it. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just like, there's no way they took an entire. There's no way they built the school there, right?
Yeah. I say yeah, knowing that I haven't really watched any of the Harry Potter films, but yeah.
Oh. It's okay. I
it's
won't
okay.
subject you to. It's one of those things where genuinely and truly, if you didn't grow up with it, I wouldn't subject you to it. But it's something that I'm passionate about in general. So people that I'm around, I generally like would feel differently if they did grow up with it. Do you know what I mean? It's like just like
I see all of those
thing.
like fandoms and stuff like that, and Star Wars, and what's the other one? Yeah, to me they're all just like anime, right? If somebody's like, oh, you should really watch this anime, then I'll be like, all right, cool. But if someone wants to subject me to the anime and watch it, like, all right, bet. Like I got forced to watch forced in quotations to watch Lord of the Rings, but I really enjoyed one of the films. I don't remember which movie it was, but there was loads of elephants and they were fighting.
Real, understandable. I can understand that. Like, if you care about somebody enough in the way like that. But like, you know, I wouldn't subject anybody to go watch Sword Art Online just because that was the first anime I watched.
Yeah, and you know, I care about you.
Thank you. I care about you too.
Thanks.
Also, speaking of, there's a funny little child. I heard it was like a children's program, and it's a big pink dude that kind of looks like a bug or something.
Mr. Blobby? Does he sound like?
Yeah, it's Mr. Blobby. It's Mr. Blobby.
Yeah. What about? He's like a British culture, like. Yeah, he's part of like British culture where like everyone, regardless, knows of him and has watched clips of him like being a fucking horror. He's like Courage. he would fit in Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Okay,
you know?
I get it now. Well, because we were just, I had met some new friends recently, right? And like a bunch of them are from the UK, and they were just talking about like all being from the UK and talking about Mr. Blobby. Like they just pasted his picture, and all UK people were responding like, "Oh my god, the horrors!" Like kind of just in a funny way, right? And so I was like, "What the fuck is this thing?" Hi, Mako. hi, Nico. Hi, Mako.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's literally just this thing that would like do silly stuff like pranks and things. If you think of like. Yeah, you just do like pranks and stuff like that, but like also he's just a guy in a suit but the suit is just it's nightmare fuel.
No, it looks terrifying. I think it's the
Yeah,
eyes.
it is terrifying. Yeah.
So that's it. I was just like, speaking of, you know, media that people grew up with, what the fuck is that thing?
Do you just the US was there not like anything that the US had that was like nightmare fuel?
No, you're right. Courage the Cowardly Dog is definitely nightmare fuel.
Yeah, Courage was nightmare fuel. I remember that. That fucking shit gave me nightmares. There was one episode that was like really fucked me up. I can't remember.
So you do also know it. You guys also did watch it.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Courage was over here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I wonder if there's just like an American only type of thing like that.
Good question. I wonder.
Can anybody think of anything, you guys? Gumby?
An American. I think
Gumby's
because
not
like American
terrifying.
shows are just like worldwide at this point. Like you guys are the leaders of media and entertainment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was thinking of a way to name it.
Yeah, just trying to think of a ship name.
Yeah, a ship name. A literal ship name. I'm so cute. Okay. I'm so cute. Okay.
Yeah.
You
True.
ready?
I'm ready.
Yay. Slab Watchers got God. Courage had soul. Courage is the fucking space chicken pilot was so wild. Oh really? That's insane. Courage. I want to watch it now though.
Yeah, I kind of want to rewatch it to see how fucked up it is. How fucked up has it made me?
Right.
You know?
Right. Codee, did you see that there was a Courage the Cowardly Dog game?
Was there?
Oh, Lil D would have been so good, Jake. God damn it.
Damn.
It's okay. There's supposed to be one coming out.
Oh.
And it looks quite good.
As in good, like, is it like a horror game? Or...
It's like I think it was like a fan game.
Uh-huh.
Hold on.
I think a Courage the Cowardly Dog done in the style of Alien Isolation would fuck me up. You ever played Alien Isolation?
No. I definitely...
Okay.
Why am I just holding on to people? I most definitely have never played Alien Isolation. Not really a big horror person.
Same. That's one of the games I'm trying to avoid as much as possible.
Why would you even have the
scary.
chance of doing so? Why would you even have the chance?
Have you ever played Resident Evil Village?
No, just 7 because of a subathon.
Oh, okay. So I played Resident Evil Village and I couldn't get past like the first level in the castle with the hot woman with the
yes.
anything because like I kept getting jump scares.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, why did you play it if you're not like a big horror person?
I thought it'd be funny.
You know what? You should play it and let me watch. It's different when somebody plays it with you, right?
Sure. Okay, we'll consider it. We'll consider it.
He didn't say no, you guys. He didn't say no. For the content, Codee's a real streamer. Codee's a real streamer. I don't do shit for the content.
I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
I don't do. Yeah. I don't do shit.
Nah, he's a gamer.
Lily is the real one.
There's nothing better than creating entertainment from saying you suck dicks online.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, did you not know that like one of my previous intros was, hi, my name is Lilybell. I love to travel and I love to suck hard dick. Or like hard cock, something like that. When I first started.
That interesting.
Yeah.
As in like chicken?
No.
Oh.
Hey, did you know I had like a show called a wet stream? Have you ever heard of those?
What's a wet stream?
Oh my god,
Is
Codee,
that like when you're swimming?
You know zero things about me. It's so interesting. This is so cool.
Okay.
This guy's like, yeah, she's so renowned. Has never heard of the like few things that
No,
made
I
me
heard of you
renowned.
because of the comrags. I already told you. I knew about the comrags.
Okay, I guess that's fair. I mean, then
know,
it tracks. It's not, you know, it tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cody doesn't know. Good. I don't want him to know.
Why?
I want you to experience it privately.
Okay. What? Oh. Okay. What's a wet stream though? Okay, so what? Okay, can you at least tell me what I'm about to experience privately?
Oh, wet stream is a stream where I
Yeah.
talked about everything that makes me wet. It was literally everything, all about like intercourse and like and it ended up being really, really wholesome because people would ask me. It's really funny. It's really funny. It originally just started as something like that, and then it ended up being really wholesome because people started asking me about advice, like sex ed and then confidence advice.
Understandable. Okay, that's
Yeah.
where it becomes wholesome. But prior to that, it probably wasn't.
No, prior to that, I definitely
That is
wouldn't.
let's touch base on that later. Why are you laughing?
It's just funny.
Why?
You sound so cautious.
My interest is funny.
No. Oh, you're
Nah.
interested. Okay, I thought you sounded cautious.
I mean, I am a little bit cautious because, you know, I don't know what to expect from these things, but I'm also very interested.
It's okay. It's okay. I tease. It's fine, you guys. I'm not that dirty. I've never been naughty. I'm a virgin.
That's fine. I can clean you. Hello?
Sorry, I was biting my lip, holding back every last bit of I was biting my lip, losing my mind.
Power
That's
Wash
all.
Simulator.
Dude, this guy, literally. That's I don't know. I can't imagine saying I play Power Wash Simulator as a thing that I can't imagine that being a compliment that he needs to get, that he thinks that I need to be power washed. I don't know. I'm not convinced that this is a good thing.
No, it just no, it is a good thing. It means I know how to use a hose. You know?
Why is that so important? Do you have one?
No, I'm Filipino. I don't know about that.
Insane. Well, you know, firstly, as I always say in my wet streams, it's not about the size, it's about the motion of the ocean, firstly.
I see.
Secondly, that's insane that you would say some shit like that. That's absolutely insane.
It's funny.
Because like if I didn't laugh, I'd cry. So what are you saying? If I didn't laugh, I'd cry.
Oh, why would you cry?
I don't know.
It's crazy. You know, it's fine. You know, we just you sometimes you have to work with what you got.
Yeah, it's about the motion of the ocean, right?
Yeah. Let's just you know what?
How about power washing those insides? Wow. Dude, easy.
What I
That was
like to
literally
say,
so easy.
what I like to say is that that I'm Filipino, but I'm above average Filipino.
Are you?
I mean, you know, you have to find out, I guess.
Nice, good one, dude. We're you guys, we're opening him up. You see that? He suddenly,
What do you mean?
he suddenly
There
just.
ain't nobody open. No, look, that's a paid for service.
What?
To open them up. What are you opening up? Hold on.
I'm
Can we-
opening up your heart, and you know, I'm opening up your heart and your willingness to.
My heart is open. My heart is always open because it's just an empty casket of.
Real, understandable. You guys, he has trauma.
That shit.
My type.
That shit needs to be
My
filled.
type. Bro, this shit needs to be filled. I'm pointing at myself.
Oh, okay.
Just
with
want to
what?
make sure. My fingers. Oh, I'm pointing at myself with my fingers. Sorry. Oh, no, cum. I need to be filled with cum. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, you know, it's fine. It's not your bad. Look, each their own.
True, it's the motion of the ocean, but some tools are just better for the job. Yeah, unless they're actually a fucking tool, then it means nothing to me.
Yeah, I don't know what a tool is.
A tool?
Yeah, I'm not a tool. You're a tool.
No, you're no, hi. Yeah. Do you know tool as an insult?
Is it?
Like
But
calling
tools are
someone a tosser.
like, tools are being used. You use tools all the time. Like, they're very important. You have
Well,
to use the right tool for the right job.
If you call someone a tool, you're calling
That
them
means they're the
basically
right,
like
the right thing for the right job, right?
a tosser.
A toss.
Yeah. Like
Okay, I hate that. I actually understand that lingo.
And exactly. See? I fucking understand shit. Yo, you guys, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm basically, you know what? Give me a fucking citizenship. I'm basically
Lily is basically
British.
British. Yeah, she doesn't need to marry some fucking British individual for citizenship. Just give it her.
Unless Tom Hiddleston is watching, then hi. I know you're pretty much married already, but if you ever want a cute little Asian side piece that's young, let me know.
Let me, you know, with every marriage, there's a possibility of divorce. You know, you can't.
That's
balance.
definitely true. Is that what you go into marriage thinking about?
No, but
do you
like,
want to? Do you like not want to get married? Are you that type?
No, it depends. If it was you,
Hey, real quick, do we have enough fuel? Sorry, I mean, I didn't necessarily think of it was me specifically, but do we have enough fuel to get there? Because we happen to have low fuel.
Oh, we have low fuel? That's crazy. We gotta juice up.
Oh, there's one right in front of us. There's one right in front of us.
It's fine. It's fine. We just transfer the power. We're good.
Yeah.
We're Gucci.
We're Gucci. Take it from the food. They'll be fine.
Everyone wants to use the. We use the.
No, they're
thing.
not. Are they? Are they? No, they don't need to use the toilet.
Okay, when it rings, we're good.
Okay.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
Codee hitting her with some lines tonight, dude. Codee can hit me with a lot of other things tonight.
Okay, bro. The second part of my name is called is the D.
That's so good, Codee! Oh my god, Codee, you're so good. What the fuck?
What you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes
good.
I'm just quick,
That's
and sometimes you know I'm slow. It depends on how you want it.
Yeah, I like variety.
Yeah, I think variety is key. You know.
Sorry, I needed to breathe. I'm a little too horny right now.
Is this turning into one of those
Wet streams?
wet streams?
No, that's funny though. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm quick on my feet. Oh shit.
She's gonna need a wet stream after this. Do not. Do not. I feel like it would be, I don't know. Can you guys I feel like it'd be too obvious if I did a wet stream after this that like we don't want to make it obvious that I like, you know, think he's cute and shit. Okay, guys? Jesus. Oh, universe. Thank you for Neko mode. Thank you for Neko mode.
Playing this bullshit.
Sorry, I have to do the Neko mode for like 10 minutes.
Do it. What is part of the Neko mode? Is that your?
It's my avatar, and then I meow every so often.
Cute. Okay. Hold on. Let me just do a quick Google. Cat girl sayings.
Oh my god. What the fuck does that even mean?
What do cat girls say?
They fucking say meow, bro. Or whatever the hell Nekopara fucking says. I don't want to talk about it too much.
You don't say they fucking say meow, bro, and don't finish with a meow. Or yeah. You know? You can't. What is this? This is some... You're doing it wrong.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm being asked. Hold on, I'm being asked actual serious question. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. What is it? Yeah, I'm doing it fantastic because it's me. Yeah. Sorry, what were we talking about? Catgirl sayings?
I was looking at like catgirl quotes to see if I could make you say something that's like cute, but all I'm getting is like best cat quotes.
Best cat quotes. I hate Mondays.
No. This is
I
the one.
love lasagnas.
I got like stupid things like.
Oh no, I've got the worst response to that, Cody. I'm so sorry. Because you said earlier, you were like, oh, I wanted to see what I can make you say. And in my brain, naturally, I was like, oh, I'm sure you can make me say, Cody, Cody, Cody. I'm so sorry as a person in general.
Wait, don't you say that normally when you say my name? I don't.
Sorry, I should have added more moaning to that, but I didn't want to get kicked off of Twitch.
Right. It's the Domo tweet.
So you heard that, huh?
Yeah, I heard that.
Man, seeing Lily fumble in real time is something. I know, it's really crazy that he just doesn't get the hint. It's fine.
Lily fumbles? Ain't no way. Lily doesn't fumble.
I don't fumble.
Lily is like fucking.
Whatever you see as fumbling is actually just fucking planned.
Yeah, this is all. She's all on top of her game. Lily doesn't fumble. That's crazy. Ain't no fucking person on the planet can make this woman fumble.
You see that shit? You heard that shit? Y'all heard that shit? Y'all heard that fucking shit? Except for Tom Hiddleston, once again, my upper limit is pretty high. Do not worry, Tom. Anytime. Anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is gonna have to be my last trip. I have to go after this.
That's good.
But
That's good for me.
oh yeah? Try to get rid of me already then, I suppose.
No, it just means
We're not
we can
even
just take
married
everything offline.
Oh, I appreciate it, hon. No, but I had a very, very good collab. See, we improved.
No, thank you.
We improved and we fucking killed it. Okay, you want food? I'll give you food, buddy. I'm smart.
Yeah.
I'm smart. It'll take me a little bit to know how to put it there, but I'm smart. Yes. Great. You needed to pee literally right after? You didn't need to pee back then? Jesus, you dumb bitch. Can you help me put that in the toilet, please?
They're all peeing. It's all good.
Thank you. That's right. Efficiency, thank you. I'm starving
so what's next for Lily Bell after this?
I
You got some
am.
plan for the rest of the week? What's your plans for the rest of the week?
Well, are you interested?
When have I not been interested in you?
I don't know. I can't tell if you're bad at texting or if you just actually aren't interested.
Do I have to go through all the DMs? Do I have to go through all the DMs after like that one time? You know what? We'll take that offline. Don't worry about it.
What one time? Sorry, what one time?
This motherfucker. Okay, this one time after fucking off Kai when I was like telling this fucking bitch how like it was really great meeting her XYZ, and then I was saying how I was messaging one of my friends.
Oh yeah, that's the alcohol. That's the alcohol. It's fine.
No, it wasn't alcohol because I'm literally telling you right now without the fucking alcohol. You can't blame the alcohol and shit. About how I was like, oh yeah. Lily Bell is a little bit of me. She's definitely my type.
You said that shit out loud here, right now.
This fucking I'm gonna.
That's insane. I didn't think you were gonna actually say that shit out loud. Oh no! Oh no!
It's fine.
I have
You're
to
going.
feed
You're
them.
going. Yeah, happy hiatus.
I have to feed them.
No, we're going. We've ended right here. We're right at the yeah.
Oh my god! Hold up, I need to ring up false for the next episode of Things VTubers say. Oh my god, what? I didn't think you were gonna say that shit out loud. I was really just trying to like pick on you, but you did it. Wow. I'm impressed.
Okay, well, anyway.
It's surprising. I didn't think I could be more impressed with you, but apparently, yeah, I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say that again in cat?
How do you say that? I'm meow pressed.
You're pressed.
I'm pressed. I'm pressed.
Okay.
Pressed to see you again, Cody. When will I get to see you again?
God knows. After your hiatus.
Oh Lord, true.
Real.
True.
It's happening. You know, I'll be in your chat when you have your hiatus stream. Your hiatus stream, yeah.
If you don't, I'll be upset. That's like the one. It's the one stream I want everybody to join. Truly.
I'll actually talk in your stream for once. Because usually I lurk, but I'll put like a random emoji or something.
Just to say that you're there.
Yeah, just say I'm there so that you know.
Yeah. Cheese to meet
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
That's a mouse thing to say. She's not pressed yet. Oh man, Bento, that's a good one.
That's
a good one. With a little cowboy emote too. Jesus. Was I saying? Yeah. No. Are you going to conventions next year? Do you know?
I think in terms of American conventions, I will probably very likely go to Off-Kai next year.
You guys, I'm not gonna make it to Off-Kai next year, just letting you know.
Yeah. It's okay. Bye.
Bye. No, just kidding. Wait, and anywhere else, you think?
I don't know, man, but like, you know, if you wanna make an adventure, let's go somewhere.
What?
Let's go somewhere. What do you mean, what?
Are you inviting me to go on a trip with you?
I mean, look, if you want to go to somewhere, where in the US have you never been before that you'd love to go to?
What the fuck? Wait, that's insane. I've never had this happen to me on live before. Yeah. I've never had this. Dude,
Wait, did
it's
you
been
not know about my Germany trip?
No. What happened to your Germany trip?
So one time I accidentally gate crashed some random person's VR chat birthday thingy thing. And I was getting along with these randoms, and then they randomly messaged me and it was like, "Hey, Cody, do you want to go to like Germany?"
Oh, okay. It's not that, you guys. He just likes to go on trips. All right, it's not that, you guys. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it is that.
No. Okay, so tell me about the Germany trip.
Yeah, no, this is me trying to explain that like I'm good for like we can plan shit and do stuff. Whatever. Right. No, yeah, right. I'm sure you really like to. Yeah, no, I get it. Okay. Yeah, if I go anywhere. So where do you want to go?
No, that's sweet. Sweet. I have no money right now. Right.
We got a whole 2025. There's a whole, like,
once I get more money, someday.
12 months and however many months there is left of this year.
Sure.
14 months. There you go.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Alrighty, Cody. I've got to go.
Thank you for... No problem. Thank you for making my dreams come true.
Funny. I didn't know you wanted to collab with me. You should have just spoke to me.
Can we not talk about that? That's really...
Why not? It's cute. It's cute, no?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm meowing at you. Meow. Yeah.
Okay.
So... Oh, that was the last one too. Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. Timer ended. Well, everybody, please say thank you very much to Codee for hanging. And
thank you for taking the time out of your day to collab with little old me, who, you know,
yeah,
it's just me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for collabing with little old me. So
you can't repeat what I said, but I appreciate it.
I can do whatever the fuck I want to do, Codee. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, okay. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm gonna leave you in your chat. But,
everybody say bye, Codee.
Bye bye.
Codee.
Thanks, beautiful. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Ah, he's so cute. He's so cute. He's so cute. Oh my god. Also, yeah, it was not the thing. I was like, cause I don't think he knew that well, he's in my chat, right? So he can, okay, never mind. Actually, it's fine. I don't care. I don't think, I thought he was inviting me on a trip. And I was like, bro, I've not been invited on a trip in a bit. And then he was like, yeah, I'll go on a trip. I went on a trip with some random people on VR chat. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. He knows? Yeah, you're right. Maybe he knows. There's a high possibility he knows. He's a very smart guy. He's a super smart guy. He probably knows, and he probably just doesn't want to say shit online. Not like me, who has definitely said way too much shit online. Legitimately, I was watching some of the stuff that we have prepared for the the hiatus stream. I keep saying graduation, I'm so sorry. The hiatus stream, right? And yikes. Like, it'll be funny, but yikes. Ugh, cutie. What a cutie. Anyways, scale of 1 to 10. Scale of 1 to 10 what? The stuff you said? Scale of 1 to 10, how fucked up is the stuff I said? I would at least probably say like an 8. Alrighty. That brain mouth filter thing is a huge problem. I don't understand how y'all do this while keeping things in check. I only keep some things in check. Like, you guys have, I mean, obviously you guys have heard and known a lot about me that should not be heard and known about, right? Which is probably why I'm incredibly weird with my identity and how people meet me. That said, I still have fun. I do what I do. Everybody's playing Throne and Liberty. What the fuck is this game? Oh my god, everybody's online. What the fuck? Oh, I want to send you guys over to my wonderful dungeon master. And he's so cute, and he's rated me a million times, and I really want to rate him now. So my name is Lilybell. I love to travel. If anybody wants to see more of me, I will be guesting on my friend's stream, Bread, in about like 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So but otherwise, please enjoy Alarian and their other D&D campaigns. Thank you for flying with Lilybell Air. Bye-bye now.